me.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Mr. Ben Israel make sexual advances to you?
Yes.
I want you to know something. I'm a truth machine.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Elena Menz is suing her former employer, Bartholomew Ben Israel, for unpaid wages.
Order. All rise. It's case number 20 on the calendar in the matter of Menz versus Ben Israel.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Menz, the defendant has a house cleaning service company. And according to your complaint, you were an employee of his for some time.
Yes.
You worked at an hourly wage.
Yes.
At some point, you asked him for a raise.
Yes.
Which he reluctantly gave you.
Not
But
true.
according to both of you, because I've read your answer, one of the things that you said to her was, don't tell any of the other employees because I'm giving you a raise, but I'm not necessarily raising their hourly rate. Would that be a fair statement of what I read in your answer?
Yes.
I'm giving you a raise. Don't tell anybody else.
Yeah.
Now, I guess I'm going to start with you, Mr. Ben Israel.
Awesome.
First of all, you have a counterclaim.
Yeah.
Because she says you owe her wages, that you fired her, and when you fired her, there was an outstanding bill that you had for her hourly wage. What your service does, if I'm not mistaken, is you have clients,
Yep.
and your clients hire your company to provide people to clean their homes.
Correct.
Let's say you charge your clients $25 an hour.
Right.
You pay your employees $15 an hour. You make $10 an hour.
Right.
Your counterclaim is twofold in her request for her last paycheck. One, you say she has some of your cleaning equipment.
Correct.
Now, I'm not an idiot, and this is not show and tell. I assume that's his cleaning stuff.
That is.
Officer Byrd, would you, before you get to 6 across, would you take this and send it over to the defendant?
It's also the uniform.
Just a second. He's sending it. Thank you. I thought that was funny, Bert.
It was hilarious. It was 6 down.
Now you have Mr. Ben Israel. That's what she has that belongs to you. The second part of your complaint is that you... Just a second. The second, and the customer that you lost was a customer that Miss Menz had been working for, and she canceled her service with you after you fired Miss Menz. So another part of your counterclaim is for slander and loss of business.
Yeah.
Do you have that person with you? The answer is yes or no.
Do I have what person?
The person who fired you.
No, I do not.
Well, so that you have no cause of action for slander unless...
I have an email associated with her.
Firing you?
Yeah, the client not wanting to hire.
I would like, just a second, even though it's hearsay, I'm going to read it and see whether I think there's anything slanderous, like you have a sexually transmitted disease, or you are a pedophile or something, or whether she's just saying he's a dishonest businessman who didn't pay me my last week's salary check. Okay.
Now, that's from a client.
You mean the email part where she says that the plaintiff said that you were refusing to pay her overtime, so she's no longer working for Pure Clean? Is that the email that you... Just a second.
Yeah.
I want to be clear.
Yeah.
This is what you say is slander.
Well, her conversation with that client about a statement that was not true is essentially why we got fired.
Not true mean?
Okay, it's not true.
What's not true?
The statement of her not getting paid overtime. By the state of Minnesota, she wasn't even entitled to overtime.
Just a second. That's not slander. So your counterclaim's now dismissed.
But she...
Listen to my words. This didn't say we're firing your firm, Mr. Ben Israel, because the person who's operating the firm is a pedophile. He's a thief. He employs underage children. Didn't say any of those things that are illegal or anything gross, right? She said she had a salary dispute with you because you were refusing to pay her overtime. And The question about whether she was entitled to overtime is a question of fact. So she's allowed to say to the people that she was working for, I got fired because I asked for overtime and he refused to pay me overtime and therefore he fired me. She's allowed to say that. So what I'm telling you is you have no case against her.
Okay.
Period. Now I'm moving forward, Mr. Ben Israel.
It wasn't, according to the state of Minnesota.
I don't care
I
whether
told
it's
her
according
that she knew
to the Gospel of St. Paul. It doesn't matter. It's not slander. Do you get it?
No, I don't. Can you
well,
please
then
give me
go to law school. I'm telling you, it's not slander. Now, let's get to whether or not you owe her any money. How long?
After Christmas, I got hired.
Christmas of 2017?
Yes, ma'am.
So you didn't work for him very long?
No, I did not.
Okay. The period of time for which you claim you were not paid is from when to when?
Okay, so 3/12/18 to 3/16.
3/12 through
my last day of 4/19. So he was short on multiple pay periods. So I didn't get paid for the very last check at all.
All I want to know is when you didn't get paid at all.
Okay.
I'm not interested in short.
So
do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not
so
interested
my
in
last
short because you did
I'm sorry.
Because you did in fact go back to work even though you were short $12, $8, $16. I'm not adding up those numbers. I want to know when he didn't pay you, from when to when.
Okay, it's 4/9 all the way to 4/19.
And you were paid by check?
Yes, personal check.
Personal check?
Yes.
Why do you pay with a personal check if you're a company, Mr. Ben Israel?
She get paid with a company check.
Well, let me see a copy of the check.
I don't have my checkbook with me.
I have copies of checks.
Just a second. Why wouldn't you bring that?
Why would I not bring my business checkbook?
Yeah, if you're coming here today and the dispute is over salary, why wouldn't you?
It's her burdens. She's supposed to prove that I didn't write a check.
This is evidence. We're not talking about burden. I wasn't asking you to write a check. I was asking you to show me that you paid her from 4/9 to 4/19.
So.
Not so. I want you to show me that you paid her. That would require your check. She can't show me.
She's supposed to be disputing overtime.
No, I'm not talking about overtime.
That's her claim.
No. Listen to me.
That's her claim.
No, listen to me carefully, sir. She says she worked from 4/9 to 4/19.
Yeah.
And she wasn't paid. I haven't discussed the hourly yet. She can't show me what she doesn't have. You can show me that she was paid from 4/9 to 4/19. And that would require you showing me your checkbook or a copy of a canceled check. Do you understand?
This is her copy of her timesheet. And that's
all right, now then let's go to her timesheet.
There you go.
Did she work on 4/9?
Yes, she did.
Did she work on 4/10?
Yep.
4/11?
Yes.
When was the next day she worked?
The 12th.
When was the next day she worked?
The 13th.
And when was the next day she worked?
The 16th.
When was the next day she worked?
The 17th.
When was the next day she worked?
The 18th.
Did she work on the 19th?
Yes.
Okay, she did not work thereafter. Thereafter,
No.
you let her go. Fine. Now, you can show me proof. We're not getting to the amount. Show me proof. 19. She can't show me what she doesn't have. If you didn't pay her, she can't show me a copy of a check.
Right.
You can show me your checkbook.
So for this pay period, she did not receive her check.
Okay, great. Then.
Because she had a...
just a second. So for this pay period, for all those days, she did not receive her check. And what did you agree to pay her? Just listen to me. When you gave her a raise, what did you agree to pay her? How much an hour?
14.
Is that... That is correct, and...
That's all I want to know.
Yes.
$14 per hour. How many hours did you work between 4/9 and 4/19? Just what I love, a case that ultimately involves math.
73.45.
74 hours times
So part of those hours were deep
equals $1,036.
So with deep cleans, we get $15 an hour. So part of those hours are at $15 an hour.
That's not true.
Just a second. Take a look at your thing. Your thing must show you how many hours were deep clean.
Yeah, she didn't get any extra pay for deep clean.
Just a second. Show me something, Miss Menz, and I'm getting very bored with this case already. We're at the board line. Show me something in writing that says that you get...
Don't have that.
Just a second. If you say I don't have it, just say I don't have it. I told you I'm getting bored with this already. $1,036 judgment for the plaintiff.
But our text messages
we didn't go over the defamation of character.
Just a second. Sir, sure.
Our text
Sure.
messages show that I have, it says deep clean today.
Pay careful attention to me.
Yes, ma'am.
I asked you to show me something that says that you get paid extra for deep clean. Do you have it or do you not?
I have statements saying deep clean,
yeah,
but it doesn't say $1 more. But on
just a second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's it. The answer is no.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Tell me what she said on social media.
She put on social media that I fire women who don't take my sexual advances, and I take
different story. Oh, that's a different story. Now we're talking business.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Elena Menz says her former employer, Bartholomew Ben Israel, owes for wages as a professional cleaner. Bartholomew is countersuing for equipment, loss of clientele, and slander.
Now, I handled your case for slander. I asked you to show me
Not about social media and her
What did she say?
defaming.
Just a second. Tell me what she said on social media.
She put on social media that I fire women who don't take my sexual advances, and I take
different story. Oh, that's a different story. Now we're talking business. Can I see what she wrote to you about on social media? Because if you said that, and if you don't have proof of that, you're going to
proof.
Just a second. If you have proof, great. Then
I'm a witness
then he's
of some
going
of
to be
the
stuck.
sexual
I
advances.
don't say a word.
I have
I want to see the sexual.
posts.
That part of the defamation. Hold it. Okay. Now, Miss Menz.
Yes.
I want you to be very careful with me.
Yes.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for my evidence as well.
What do you mean looking for your evidence? Where did you think you were coming today?
Oh, no, I'm
You
bringing
should
it
have
up
your
on the
evidence.
phone. I'm sorry.
Just a second. All I want to know is, did Mr. Ben... Look at me.
Okay.
Did Mr. Ben Israel make sexual advances to you?
Yes.
When?
We went out on a meeting.
Look,
I'm
I
sorry.
want you to know something. I'm a truth machine.
Yes. We went to
I want
dinner
you-
like the first couple of weeks I was another employee. We were
Oh,
celebrating.
just a second. Be real careful with me.
Yes, ma'am.
Within the first couple of weeks you were working there, you went to dinner with the defendant, with another employee.
Company
Another female,
Yes.
female employee. So the three of you went out for dinner.
Yes.
We all were invited, Your Honor.
Now you can put her out.
That's my witness.
It's your witness when you call her. Right now, she is an annoyance to me because she shouts out. Do you understand?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, you and one other female employee
Yes.
went out for dinner.
Yes. Before she worked there.
And
And so we had dinner, and he was having a few drinks.
Make sure you tell me the truth, because
Yes.
then I'm going to question you about why you stayed.
Okay.
So keep going.
So we were having dinner. He had a few drinks, and like he was just kind of, you know, uncomfortably touching me, and I thought it was just because he was drinking, like, you know, brushing.
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Like this?
Yeah, like like he was getting
Just a second. And
he was just
just a second.
and he was feeling good from drinking.
Just a second. And
that's
how you felt. Do you understand?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
however you felt at that moment, you continued to work for him, and I guarantee you that you had a drink too at dinner.
Actually, I did not. I had a pop.
Yeah. Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I take allegations of sexual harassment seriously, so I resent because it diminishes
So the
it
pictures-
diminishes
he sent pictures,
real
too.
sexual harassment. When you have somebody that's got another agenda like you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Elena Menz has accused former employer Bartholomew Ben Israel of withholding her wages as a professional cleaner. Bartholomew has a countersuit claiming Elena falsely accused him of sexual harassment.
Now, I take allegations of sexual harassment seriously.
Yes.
And I think anyone who has been the victim of sexual harassment in the workplace deserves to be compensated.
Yes.
Listen to me carefully.
I understand.
So I resent because it diminishes
So the
it
pictures-
diminishes
he sent pictures,
real
too.
sexual harassment. When you have somebody that's got another agenda like you.
I don't have another agenda.
Just
He
a
sent
second.
me pictures.
Just a second.
At
That's
that
the
time,
story
no.
you told me.
And then,
For
so
that-
I'm moving
for-
on to the
Then
further.
tell me.
Okay,
Then
so
tell me the
when
next.
I
Your
was
Honor.
working with, when I was
I don't want
working
to hear you. You complained about something.
Okay.
Listen to me.
This one I
You
showed up.
complained about something unless you want to withdraw your counterclaim.
Okay.
Look at me. Unless you want to withdraw your counterclaim, I'm going to hear whatever other evidence she has.
Perfect.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now, I want you to tell me what other things he did to you to
Okay.
sexual harass you.
So he sent, I don't have it because I erased it.
Well, don't tell me what you don't have.
Okay.
Don't tell me what you don't have. Tell me what you have.
I have inappropriate pictures that he sent.
That he sent to you.
Yes.
I'd like to see them. Don't say anything. Why is this an inappropriate picture?
I mean, why would you send a
Just a second.
shirtless picture to an employee?
I mean, I just want to know why it's an inappropriate picture, because maybe he's a schmuck. I don't
I guess,
understand.
I mean, to me, it was inappropriate.
maybe. But this isn't an inappropriate picture. It's a picture of him.
Those were taken
it's-
off my Instagram, my Facebook page. And
Just a second. Is this on your...
Yeah.
As an inappropriate picture? I would think that it's... Listen to me. I would think that it's inappropriate behavior and stupid to send this to an employee.
I agree.
As I would agree that this is inappropriate and stupid to send to an employee. If what you are telling me, Mr. Ben Israel, is that this came off of your Facebook page and she says that you sent it to her.
No, you will
Just
see
a
it.
second. If she's telling me that this was sent to her and you can establish to me that she took this off your Facebook page, I'm granting your request because I see she's got no other evidence there.
I'm not even on his Facebook
Just a
page.
second.
I'm sorry.
Just a second. Show me how he sent it to you. Because now we're
getting to the
in
juicy
checkmate.
stuff.
Now we're in Now we're in checkmate.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You show me where he sent these pictures to you, because you would agree, Mr. Ben Israel, that this would be inappropriate to send to an
Definitely,
employee.
I would, yeah.
So it's saved into my photo drive because
No,
your
no, no.
photos automatically saved because I erased
No.
those
listen,
pictures.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Okay.
You know what, Miss Menz, that's going to cost you? $1,036. That's what that's going to cost you.
Okay.
Postman, and then lying to me.
I'm not
and
lying, but
telling me.
I'm
well,
not
now he's
lying.
going to show me where it's on his Facebook page. Bird, may I get that, please?
I think you guys got bad Wi-Fi here.
We don't have anything bad here.
I'm just waiting for it to load, but these are
screenshots.
these are screenshots that she sent to herself, and then she showed it to her a friend, which was an employee that worked for us, and she sent it to me to show what she was posting. So she went to my page, took the pictures off, and then sent it to herself as if I'm sending her messages.
You mean setting up this case? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you did. That's exactly what you did. It's going to cost you $1,036.
Thank you.
You don't have to pay her anything. What she said was outrageous. It's going to cost her her money, and she owes you an apology.
Yeah. Thank you.
Got it? We're done.
Parties are excused. May step out.
Excuse me, Your Honor. So is there a counterclaim? for
Yes,
the-
I'm giving you $1,036.
Okay, but not the 5,000.
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's obvious that the lady was lying. She intentionally went out there to try to destroy my character. I did nothing to that girl but try to help her.
He's a great guy.
We're starting off in a very bad place, you and I.
A friend's help got her on the road.
She signed for the loan. You hit a patch of black ice and you totaled the car.
But her slippery defense
It was never my car.
is where the real spin starts.
I was holding her vehicle for her. Once she told me you can use the extra car, help me hide it from my family, fine, cool.
Your story is ridiculous.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
24-year-old Nalani Farrow is suing her former friend, 24-year-old Anashatir Hines, for the unpaid balance on a car she helped her buy. Anashatir is countersuing for harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 103 on the calendar in the matter of Farrow versus Hines.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Miss Hines, who do you work for?
Who do I work for?
Who do I work for? That's my question. Who do you work for?
I work for Handy. I'm housekeeping.
How long have you been doing that?
I'd like to say about
No,
3 to
don't,
4.
not what you're doing.
Before that, I was working at Mercy serving food.
How long did you work for them, from when to when?
I worked with them from January until, I'd like to say, April.
Of this year?
Yes.
Before January of this year, who did you work for?
I worked for BDC.
Full-time or part-time?
It was full-time.
How much did you earn?
About $1,200 a month.
Did you ever have a bankruptcy?
No.
Did you ever not pay for anything? You know what your credit score is?
I think it's around 600.
Did you ever go to a dealership to look at a car with Miss Farrow? Look at me. Did you ever go? Don't put your tongue here. It's a very simple question. I said, did you ever go with Miss Farrow to a car dealership?
Yes.
In what month?
September?
No, I ask the questions. You give me an answer. A question has a at the end. An
September.
answer doesn't have a at the end.
September.
And you went to a car dealership with her for what reason? No, don't look there. Don't look there. There's a reason when somebody goes with another person to a car dealership. I have friends. I'm very old. The only time I went to a car dealership with another person was when I went with my husband or one of my children or one of my grandchildren when I was... So, what did you go to the car dealership with her for?
Vehicles. She was also
To look at
looking
a car.
for a new car.
To look
so
at a
was
car.
I.
Just a second.
Yes.
You were looking for a new car, and so was she.
Yes.
Okay. What kind of car were you looking for?
Honestly, anything that could get me from point A to point B.
And that's because you didn't have a...
Vehicle.
Okay, so you were looking for a car. Did you find one in September that you liked? No, look here.
I am.
Did you
No, I
find
did
it?
not.
Did not.
I wasn't in good credit standing.
Well, then what did you go for? You know, I once said to an old fiance, don't take me ring shopping unless you're prepared to buy.
I thought I was in a position to, and apparently I wasn't.
Okay, so when you found out, because you had a lousy credit score, that you weren't in the position to buy a car, that must have meant someone at the dealership told you, well, I'll look you up. You see this car, let me tell you what it is. And then they looked up your credit score and they said you weren't in a position to buy it yourself. That would be a fair statement. That's how you would know. You said my credit wasn't good.
Okay.
That's how you would know. Otherwise, you wouldn't go to the car dealership if you knew that your credit wasn't good and you couldn't buy a car. So the salesman said, you can't finance this car in your name.
Correct.
What kind of car was it that you couldn't finance? Miss Hines, this is either going to be painful or not painful. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's going to be painful. So far, the answers that I am eliciting, you do understand that. So we're starting off with, in a very bad place, you and I. So what I'm suggesting to you is, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory, because you lied in your sworn statement so far. So let's get, yes, you did.
I did go to the dealership with her, and I was not in a position to get a vehicle. That is correct.
No, just a minute. You said you went there to look at a vehicle. And if you looked at a vehicle, at the time you went to the dealership with her, you didn't know that you weren't in a position until the salesman told you.
Correct. But I was not the only one getting a vehicle that day.
No, she was getting a vehicle.
Correct.
That's correct. I asked you the question. I said to you, what kind of vehicle was it that you were not in a position to buy because of your credit?
It was a 2016 Dodge Dart.
What color?
Black.
What was the price?
I honestly don't recall.
You don't remember. That's fine. So it was a 2016 Dodge Dart. Is that correct?
Yes.
And for my information, that was in September, right?
Yes.
Beginning, middle, or end of September?
Beginning?
I said to you, a question
Beginning.
has an answer doesn't have an at the end.
I'm trying
It's
to
a
give you the
statement.
surest answer I have.
Just a second. No, no, no. If you say I don't... Beginning?
Okay, so I don't know. I would
You
like to
don't
say
know.
September. I don't know.
Was it the beginning or middle or end of September?
We didn't go to the dealership.
You didn't?
No, we went in October, not September.
What date in
October
October?
1st, 2017.
Is that possible?
Yes, it is possible.
Okay. Now, on October 15th, 2017, which is in the middle of the month, were you driving a 2016 black Dodge Dart?
Yes, I was.
Yes. Well, let me see. You went and looked at a 2016 black Dodge Dart that you couldn't afford. Shh. Listen to me. And 2 weeks later, you were driving a 2016 Dodge Dart. Take a breath. And remember what I said to you at the beginning. I have your sworn answer here. You see, I have your sworn answer, which I'm going to read to you, which is different from the story that you're telling me.
You didn't allow me to tell my story. You asked me
No, I'm not
questions.
going to let you tell your story your way.
Okay.
You wrote it here.
And that is my truth.
You wrote it. You mean what you wrote and what you signed was not true?
I said that is true. Yes, that is
good.
my truth.
Okay.
I was
Well,
at the dealership with Nalani.
Just a second.
Yes.
About. Ms. Farrow says that you needed a car. You went to the dealership together. You picked out a car, a 2016 Dodge Dart. Salesman said, your credit's lousy. You can't have this car in your name or else it's going to cost you a lot of money. Then the two of you discussed it, and maybe she would put herself down as co-owner. And he said, if you're on the car, it's still going to be expensive because your credit's so bad. So you decided to put the title in Miss Farrow's name, which she said she would do. And she signed for the loan with the agreement that you would pay the monthly payments for the car and pay for the insurance. That's what Miss Farrow says, which I'm going to tell you, Miss Hines, I believe, because the story that you told me just now is consistent with that and inconsistent with your sworn answer, which I'm going to read in a second. You drove the car in October, you drove the car in November, and then you were driving the car in December, and according to you, you hit a patch of black ice and you totaled the car. The insurance paid for the car, but there was no gap insurance, so that there was a remainder of $6,000 on the loan that the plaintiff is still responsible for. Your answer says, it was never my car. Your answer says, I'm going to read it to you because Bird's going to find this interesting when he... She didn't want her family to know she had purchased a new car until she sold her old one. That's what you're saying about the plaintiff. So she asked me if I could keep the car at my place. Naturally, I was inclined to help her because we were best friends. Naloni said I could even use the car if I paid for the insurance. I agreed to help her out since it benefited us both. I paid Naloni for the insurance, so of course I thought the car was fully insured. So what you're saying here, in December I used the car, it was black ice, I crashed into a parked car and it was totaled. I felt terrible that I had crashed Naloni's car. I told her she needed to make a claim to her insurance. Apparently, listen to this, apparently, this is what you saw. Apparently, Naloni had financed the car and was making payments. Do you want to know how stupid this is? You want to know how stupid this is? How people make up these stories. The amount the insurance paid didn't cover the entire loan, so Naloni was naturally upset. She got angry with me for cashing the car, but I didn't do anything wrong. Once the vehicle was totaled, she wanted me to take full responsibility for a car that was never mine. You know how ridiculous you sound? You know how ridiculous this is? Family to know she had bought two cars. She wanted to hide one of them at your house. You know how stupid that sounds? Can I see the paperwork, please, from...
For the purchase?
Purchase, I know, from the bank, indicating how much is owed.
Here's from the bank.
Did you make a payment on this car, Miss Hines, in November?
Yes,
Yes.
to our agreement. Only to our agreement.
Just,
She was running the car.
Just a second. Did you make a payment on the car in November? The answer is either yes or no.
Yes.
How much? We're not talking about so long ago. How much of a payment did you make in November?
The insurance, it was
No,
$320.
the whole amount that you paid in the month of November for the car. How much?
I paid $320 for insurance.
And how much did you pay in December?
In December, when the vehicle was totaled, I didn't pay
No,
it.
just a second. Was it the vehicle totaled December what?
12th? Something
In December,
or
did
other.
you make any payment?
No, I didn't, because I did not have the car. We had an agreement. I was holding her vehicle for her.
I just told
It's
you,
not
I think
in my
you're ridiculous.
Name. The car was never in my name.
Just a second.
When we went to that dealership and I was told that I could not get a car.
Program.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How much of a payment did you make to her in October?
Insurance, same thing, $320.
Let me explain something to you, madam. $320 every month is more than insurance on a car. Duh.
And later today,
Was it registered currently?
The car,
That's either a yes or a no.
the car was currently registered, yes.
Prove it
The
to me.
inspection sticker was expired.
It was expired. Not a huh.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Nalani Farrow says former friend Anasha Tier Hines owes for the balance on a car she helped her buy.
Now, your story is ridiculous.
Okay.
How much of a payment did you make to her in October?
Insurance, same thing, $320.
Let me explain something to you, madam. $320 every month is more than insurance on a car. Duh.
Never owned a vehicle before, and like I said, she was allowing me to use her vehicle. I just went with what she was telling me because I was grateful. I went there to view something with her. It did not pan out. So once she told me, oh, you can use the extra car, help me hide it from my family, fine, cool. Anything she said, I was with until the harassment.
Dismissed.
Okay, so regardless.
You owe $5,000. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Are
We're
you
done.
serious? Wow.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm grateful with her decision.
She bought me a vehicle.
Buy your own car
Yes, I agreed to help her a little bit, but it didn't go the way she panned out.
and don't help out people that can't help their damn self.
She's upset because she got finessed.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Gonzalez versus Gaston. Step forward.
Robert Gonzalez is suing his former roommate, Zeb Gaston, for impound fees after Zeb was arrested for possession of drugs while driving his car. Robert is also suing for moving expenses and punitive damages.
Mr. Gonzalez, I've read your papers, your complaint, which is relatively brief. I've read your answer, Mr. Gaston, also relatively brief, that you both signed. Let me see if I can concisely tell you what I think this case is about. The two of you were roommates for a short period of time. You were in the process of a custody dispute with the mother of your daughter. So far, correct?
Not at the time, no.
Not at the time that you were roommates?
Correct. After the incident.
Then let me tell you what I got, because you're never going to think 2 steps ahead of where I'm going. Mission. And the car was impounded. You want him to pay the cost of the impound. In addition, you want him to pay your moving costs. Because of the incident, you say you had to find another place to live because you couldn't live with him because you were in the middle of a custody dispute.
That is correct.
However, the story that you told me in your complaint was you were going to a funeral and you asked to take your daughter with you to the funeral. And the mother of your daughter, with whom you were not living, said you could not take her. That sounds not a huh. That sounds like a dispute to me. Not a huh. That would be a yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. When you went to this funeral, the defendant agreed to drive you to the airport. That's what you say in your complaint.
Drove my vehicle home from the airport. I drove to the airport, he rode with me, and then he drove my car
home. With the intention of driving?
The car home, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the car was impounded on the way home, on the way after he dropped you off at the airport or after you dropped yourself off. It's not going to work out well for you, Mr. Gonzalez. Was it registered currently?
The car...
That's either a yes or a no.
The car was currently registered, yes.
It had tags on it that were current.
Yes.
Prove it to
the
me.
inspection sticker was expired.
Okay. It was expired.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He was driving your car home, and he got pulled over. He got pulled over for an expired inspection sticker. Not uh-huh. That's yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Better.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Robert Gonzalez says former roommate Zeb Gaston caused his car to be impounded after he was arrested for drug possession during a traffic stop.
Okay, so the car that he was driving in, which was your car, should not have been on the road because it had an expired inspection sticker. Now, I don't know if where you live, you can't get a car registered if it's not inspected. Where do you live?
New York.
Well, if you have to register a car and you have to have an inspection because the inspection is due, you can't have a valid registration.
The car was already registered. The inspection expired.
When?
The inspection expired the previous year.
So, this is your problem. He was driving your car home, and he got pulled over.
That was after he drove home.
I just said that to you.
No, he didn't drive straight home. He drove somewhere else, picked up somebody.
I don't care where he drove. He got pulled over for an expired... That's yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Better. And when he got pulled over for the expired inspection sticker, they had him come out of the car, they tossed the car, and they found drugs in the car, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So the car was impounded. Now, he may have gotten a ticket anyway, or he may have gotten the car impounded because you were driving the car illegally. You were driving the car illegally on the street because its inspection had expired. I don't know that. Does anybody have any proof to tell me? Yes, no?
I got the police report that it was invalid. Yes, sir.
Uninspected motor vehicle. Description of violation.
But they do not impound cars for expired inspection
I don't know whether they do or not.
stickers.
You have, just a second. I don't know whether they do or not. Do you have anything to prove to me? They don't impound cars that have a year-old violation on them?
I got pulled over with an expired inspection sticker and only got a ticket.
In any event, what you did was you drove a car illegally on the road and you shouldn't have. The car was impounded. And how much did you have to pay to get it out?
$350.
Okay. Now, when you were pulled over and they found drugs in the car...
Marijuana, a little bit of marijuana, and a little bit of pills.
Are those cases over?
The case is done with. It is
Gone
over.
Away.
I had a misdemeanor, and it was a disorderly conduct.
What about him?
Wasn't charged, ma'am.
Mr. Gonzalez, I have no idea whether they would... And his case was dismissed.
Yes, it was.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I have no idea whether they would have impounded your car or not. I have no clue.
The Rensselaer Police Department, which I called, and the impound lot both stated that my car was impounded.
Listen to me. You can't tell me. You can't tell me what anybody told you, sir, because that's hearsay. Now, the second part of your lawsuit is that because of all this kerfuffle, you were in a custody battle, and you thought it was best that you not live with them because you should have a different residence because of what happened with your car, and they should pay your moving expenses.
This is what my lawyer had said.
Good. And I'm telling you that that was good advice from your lawyer. That was good advice from your lawyer to tell you that you may not want to live in a place where somebody uses pills and somebody uses marijuana. You might want to find an independent residence. That's up to you. That has nothing to do with him. So your case is dismissed. We're done. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A drug dealer friend and had drugs in the car.
I do not sell narcotics.
They don't impound cars for expired inspection stickers.
That's his car. He should have had the inspection sticker on it.
It was impounded because of the drugs.
It shows me that roommates can be snakes, too.
Private pictures become public.
A person who maliciously posts photographs is a lowlife, piece of dirt. You would agree with that, right?
Oh, of course, Your Honor.
Prove to me that he posted them.
And the witness...
She's in the back.
Yes.
Bring her out, please.
...is the girlfriend they both share.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Sir.
What do you think? This is the love connection? Would you bring the witness up here?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
LaRonda Red is suing her former friend's boyfriend. Avery Washington for posting nude pictures of her on the internet.
Order. All rise. It's case number 107 on the calendar, matter of Red versus Washington.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
This case involves you're out on the internet.
Yes, ma'am.
Pictures that you didn't want to be posted on the internet.
Yes, ma'am.
Now let me see, Mr. Washington, if I understand the relationship that you had with the plaintiff. You have a girlfriend.
That's correct.
Whose name is?
Jasmine.
Jasmine was a friend of the plaintiff's.
We're more than friends.
They were more than friends, but at least friends.
Yes.
And there came a time when you and the girlfriend, Jasmine, got into a sort of an argument and broke up. You and Jasmine were not together.
Several times over our 3-year relationship, that's occurred.
But you and Jasmine were friends for a long time.
Yes.
And you very foolishly, and I repeat this out there to everyone, very foolishly took pictures of yourself that you wouldn't want to see pasted on the front page of any newspaper.
Yes, ma'am.
And you sent them to Jasmine.
Yes.
Did you send them to anyone else?
No.
Why did you send them to Jasmine?
It was something that we discussed, and I showed her what was done.
And it is your allegation that Mr. Washington, who was jealous of your relationship with Jasmine, got hold of those photographs and put them up on the internet.
Yes, ma'am.
Causing you all kinds of aggravation and service.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, she has to prove that to me.
Correct.
And I assume she's going to be able to prove that to me. You would agree, Mr. Washington, that a person who maliciously posts photographs that were inclined to embarrass somebody is a lowlife piece of dirt. You would agree with that, right?
Oh, of course, Your Honor.
Because that's what I think that they are. Somebody who intentionally would take a photograph that was not intended for them and publish it with the idea of embarrassing somebody really would deserve to pay. You would agree with that?
Of course.
Great. You have the photograph?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Okay. Outrageous, stupid for you to send. You know, you're young, you get to be older, you recognize you don't take pictures or allow somebody else to take pictures of you that don't make you look your best. Believe me, I know that. I go like this a lot. Prove to me that he posted them.
I actually have a recording. Once the pictures were posted, I called Jasmine in regards to that, and they were arguing over the phone.
Who? You mean
Avery,
Mr. Washington and Jasmine?
Yes, they were arguing over the phone.
They were together?
I believe so. At the time, they were together when the picture was posted, yes.
No. I mean, when you called Jasmine, how do you know that they were arguing?
Because I picked Jasmine up alone, and Jasmine and Mr. Washington was on the phone together while she was with me.
Okay, so she was with you, and you have a recording of her speaking to Mr. Washington?
Yes.
Where he acknowledges that he posted the pictures.
Or that he will threaten to post things that are in her personal phone. That's what it was.
Or that he had possession of her phone,
yes,
that were in her personal phone, and he threatened to post them.
Yes.
You think she has that?
That conversation never took place, so I don't see how she could.
Just a second. Let's just be clear. You never had a conversation with your girlfriend, Jasmine, about the fact that you had gotten possession of her personal phone. Look at my eyes. Be careful what you say. Are you telling me that you never had a conversation with Jasmine about the fact that you had gotten possession of her personal phone and saw pictures of the plaintiff? Are you telling me you never had that conversation with Jasmine?
There was a time when Jasmine called me and asked me a pointed question, and I answered.
And said, come on.
She asked me, did I post pictures of LaRonda?
Well, in order to ask if you posted pictures of the plaintiff, you had to have possession of her phone. I'm not stupid. Do you understand?
That is correct. That is what she asked me.
Had you had...
And at the time when she asked that question, she was in possession of her own phone.
I didn't ask you whether at the time, whether she had possession of her phone. I asked you whether or not at some period of time you took, I don't care if it's for 5 minutes, possession of her phone and looked through her phone. Is that what you're telling me? Be careful what you say, sir. You never know where I'm going. So it's always better to tell me the truth. She still may not be able to prove that you posted the pictures, but don't think about lying to me. Was there a time, even for 5 minutes, that you had possession of a phone and saw pictures of the plaintiff?
I've been with Jasmine for 3 years. There's many times when I've had possession of her phone. None of those times have I ever seen pictures of LaRonda.
Now I'll hear it.
Videos. Give me my keys. Told you what I would do if you didn't give me my, and you didn't, knowing the consequences.
What? Did you post the nude pictures because you
wouldn't give my keys. I begged you for 3 hours for my, and told you what the consequences was going to be. And you told me to do it. All I wanted was my, but told you I wasn't no more.
Is that it? Now, when did you have this argument with your girlfriend about your keys and your property?
I don't remember having such argument with Jasmine.
Not you on the phone?
No.
Can I have your girlfriend's telephone number?
Yes.
Is she traveling with you today?
Yes.
So she's in the back?
Yes.
Bring her out, please. It can be easy or it can be hard. Because, you see, this is the problem. If your girlfriend, because you're back on again, correct?
That's true.
If she refuses to come out, if she cared about you and supported your version of the events, what she would do is come out and tell me that. Do you understand? If she refuses to come out, that means he's my guy, and I'm not going to testify against him.
Or could it
Do you
possibly...
understand? No,
or
it
could it
couldn't
possibly
possibly
she
be.
doesn't want to be
No.
caught up in the middle of this?
No, couldn't possibly be that. Impossible that it could possibly be that.
I think that's a great possibility.
No, there is no possibility. Because if the pictures were only sent to your girlfriend, her mother, her brother, somebody else, it's possible. But more likely you, because of something that you said to me at the very beginning of this case when I said the plaintiff and your girlfriend were friends. And you said, do you remember what you said?
More than friends.
More than friends. That was telling to me. So it was this, yes, they were friends. There was nothing to be wrong. They were friends. You had an itch. Bird, would you bring the witness up here, please, and swear her? Excuse me. Excuse me.
Sir.
Excuse me. What do you think? This is the love connection? Would you bring the witness up here and swear her, please?
Step up here, ma'am. Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth in these matters?
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Jasmine.
Last name?
Melton.
Have a seat.
Jasmine, I want you to listen to something. Play the audio.
Videos. Give me my keys. Told you what I would do if you didn't give me my, and you didn't, knowing the consequences.
What? Did you post the nude pictures because you
wouldn't give my keys. I begged you for 3 hours for my, and told you what the consequences was going to be.
Stop the audio. Now, remember that conversation? My question is, do you remember the conversation?
Yes.
You were in the car with the plaintiff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh is not an answer. Yes is an answer, or no.
Yes.
And you were talking to your boyfriend.
Yes.
And at the time you had an argument with him. He wanted some property.
Yes.
What property did he want?
I don't recall. I don't remember what we was arguing about.
Well, he wanted his keys. Does that refresh your recollection?
Yeah.
He wanted his keys. Keys to what? And when he said that you had fought for, because there's much more to this audio tape, which I've heard before you got here. So you had an argument, but she said lasted 3 hours. Did it last 3 hours?
Somewhat.
And during that time, he threatened to do something. What did he threaten to do?
I don't recall. We was arguing about a lot of stuff that day. There was a lot going on.
But you do remember the argument, and you do remember the car.
Yeah.
Good. She can go out now. See, I didn't even have to break up your relationship. All I had to prove that you were a liar, because you said that wasn't you, right?
Wasn't me.
I didn't have to do anything else. I didn't have to break up the romance. All I had to do was say who's lying and who's not. And the liar would be you, because that was you. That's what she says. Unless she's a liar. Is she a liar?
She's confused, Your Honor.
No, she's not confused. She didn't look confused to me. She didn't look confused to me.
She was confused, Your Honor.
And I know the difference between confused and lying. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're finished.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Her and my girlfriend had their own relationship.
I don't have anything to say.
I'm just glad it's over.
I'm done with it. I don't want to talk about it no more.
Guess today law prevailed.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Shannon Lennison versus Berry. Step forward.
23-year-old's former roommate, Michael Burry, for breaking their lease
and causing damage to the home. Michael is countersuing for an illegal eviction, storage fees, and assault.
All right. The three of you tried to be roommates. It didn't work out, and now you're bothering us.
You're right, Your Honor.
You're right. I know I'm right. So let's deal with this quickly and expeditiously, because it's sushi day today.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I only let him stay for a weekend.
Now it's a weekend. It went, Mr. Burry, from one night to a weekend.
Yeah, he was there for one day, or two nights, I mean.
You got to get your story straight, sir.
I know, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I know, and I know that you know.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Forbes Shannon and Zach Lennison say former roommate Michael Burry owes for breaking a lease and damaging property.
Now, the three of you moved into an apartment on what date?
We moved into a house together August 1st, 2017.
And according to both of you, because there is a claim and a cross-claim for an assault, let's get rid of that first. According to you,
yes,
your last name is in the house involving the defendant, where he was drunk, and that was back in August, the month you moved in.
You're right, Your Honor. There were...
Just a second. Correct? And that's the same incident that you refer to in August, the month you moved in.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. And then you remained living together. I assume there was no police action taken with regard to this alleged assault back in August?
No, Your Honor.
The interaction actually started with a police officer, Your Honor.
No, well, I understand it started with a police officer. According to you, calling to say that he was drunk, could you please send a car or come and pick him up from someplace? I don't care. But there was no police reports with regard to these alleged assaults back in August of 2017. And the three of you continued to reside together for another 6 months until the next incident, which you allege, is in January of 2018. So you lived together August, September, October, November, December, and January, 6 months. So I don't care about the assault. You understand? It's like two married people having a fight. They have a fight. They tussle around, then they continue to live together for 2 years. One of them finally says, I want a divorce. And all of a sudden, this tussle that they had 2 years before becomes a major Geschichte. So you continue to live as three nice married. And then in January, Mr. Burry, did you have a friend move in with you?
No, Your Honor.
Did you have a friend come to stay with you?
He stayed for one night.
Did you have a friend come to stay with you? What's the friend's name?
Seth.
On what date did he come?
It was in January. I don't know an exact day.
Why did he come?
He wanted to move here. I let him stay for a day.
Just a second. He wanted to move to where?
Phoenix.
Did you discuss that with your roommates?
Yes, I did.
Okay, which one? Or both?
I talked to both of them. I originally told them he would be staying for a week. When they said no, I only let him stay for a weekend.
Well, now it's a weekend. It went, Mr. Burry, from one night to a weekend. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that incident resulted in the landlord telling you he couldn't stay.
I never spoke to the landlord.
Well, he moved out, right? He left.
Yeah, he was there for one day, or 2 nights, I mean. 2 nights.
You got to get your story straight, sir.
I know, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I know, and I know that you know.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you don't think that I think it was a good idea for you to say, listen, move out because this is not working out, then there's something wrong with you. And I thought that here you came in a suit with a tie that you were normal.
Forbes Shannon and Zach Lennison say former roommate Michael Burry owes for breaking a lease and damaging property.
So that incident resulted in the landlord telling you he couldn't stay.
I never spoke to the landlord.
Well, he moved out, right? He left.
Yeah, he was there for one day, or 2 nights, I mean.
You got to get your story straight, sir.
I know, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I know, and I know that you know. Okay, so that was in January. But at that point, you had sort of had it with each other because they wanted him out, and you decided it was best that you terminate this roommate relationship. That's according to the complaint and the answer that I got. You certainly didn't want to live with people who, according to you, intimidated you and beat you, right?
No,
and they didn't want to live with somebody that they allege is a drunk and was assaultive. So it was a good idea that you move out.
We came to mutual agreement that I would move out. He brought up the,
Your Honor,
that they wanted another
Just a second.
roommate.
Sorry.
Just a second. Well, Mr. Shannon, if you don't think that I think it was a good idea for you to say, listen, move out because this is not working out, then there's something wrong with you. And I thought that here you came in a suit with a tie that you were normal and brings a criminal friend home that you had to get the landlord involved with.
Absolutely.
Right? You're not an idiot.
No,
right?
Your
So you
Honor.
would have been happy if he left.
Yes, we did
of
have a
course.
conversation about him leaving.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, for sure.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing that he left.
Yes, Your Honor.
And he did leave in April. And he paid his rent for January,
Yes, Your Honor.
February,
Yes, Your Honor.
March,
Yes, Your Honor.
and he left in April. You left the beginning, middle, or end of April.
The last day of April.
Did you
Your Honor.
pay April's rent?
Yes.
Are you still in the house?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good for you.
Thank you.
That's great. Do you like it?
Yeah, I do like it.
Very
Your
much.
Honor. Thank you.
More peaceful now.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Good.
And
who's living there with you?
so we have a friend that's moving in on July 1st. That's when he moves in.
Well, but he was supposed to move in before.
We have...
Just
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you still in the house?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good for you.
Thank you.
That's great. Do you like it?
Yeah, I do like it.
Very
Your
much.
Honor. Thank you.
More peaceful now.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Good.
And
who's living there with you?
so we have a friend that's moving in on July 1st. That's when he moves in.
Well, but he was supposed to move in before.
We have...
But he was supposed to move in before.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It
Understood.
didn't work out.
Your Honor, if I may say something.
You could say whatever you want.
Okay.
Within 30 seconds.
Okay, Your Honor. Yes, absolutely. We did suggest that the defendant move out because it obviously wasn't working for any of us. But we made it very, very, very clear that neither plaintiff or I could afford to pay this rent that he agreed to.
Okay.
So the argument really was, I spoke with our land leasing company, and there is...
Just a second. You had this discussion with him in January.
Yeah, we had
Yes,
this discussion.
you
Yes.
had this discussion in January. Mr. Shannon, listen to me very carefully. He didn't move out until the end of April. That gave you January, February, March, and April, 4 months to find a third roommate. If you didn't, that's your problem. Goodbye.
Please excuse me. Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I disagree with the decision, but the defendant still has to live with himself, so...
I'm just glad I don't have to talk to these guys anymore.
Alcohol, idiocy, a lot of chlorine in his gene pool, lots of things.
They left me downtown Scottsdale with no way to get home.
He sucker punched my roommate, threw me into a wall, said he was going to slit my throat in my sleep, so...
I never did that.
I mean, basically, he came in the house, rumbling, tumbling.
We got in an argument.
Ducking his head, looking straight at the... contains in his entire body.
After I was punched, yeah.
I did put him in his place.
I tried to get them off me.
I punched him in the face.
So I was just pushing a little bit.
Happily so, I did knock him out.
He gave me a bulging black eye.
He smells like a dusty beach flip-flop, and he looks like an old crusty sand dollar, so I would say no, absolutely not.
There is no friendship with these people.
You know, you just gotta keep your wits about you and be willing to throw them out as soon as they threaten to slit your throat.
I'm just excited to move on with my life.
You know, I mean, this is the best thing he'll ever do in his life, so I hope he's happy.
What were you arrested for?
Strangulation.
Who was the victim in that?
Ex-girlfriend.
His next lever helped pay his bond.
Didn't you ask the question? What are you on bail for?
Now,
Who are you?
His girlfriend.
he has a new one lined up.
You people must be idiots. He has a felony domestic violence where he got $50,000 bail, and you got him. Lucky you.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Ashley Henderson is suing her former friend, Randy Wade, for the return of bail money and money she gave him to buy.
All rise. It's case number 79 on the calendar, the matter Henderson versus Wade.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Henderson, the defendant is your ex-boyfriend. You claim he owes you some money, so I'm going to start with him because I have a few questions. One of the things that you claim he owes you for is a $200 bail payment.
Yes.
Okay. What were you arrested for, Mr. Wade, and when?
It's kind of personal, but it was
It was
for
what?
strangulation, domestic assault, and that was November 4th of last year.
And who was the victim in that
Ex-girlfriend.
case? How much was your bail?
$50,000.
Is that your first time
Yes.
involved with the criminal justice system?
No.
And you were paying off the bail bondsman?
Yes.
What happened with that case?
It's still pending.
Great. You came up a little short of $200 on a payment to the bail bondsman?
Yes.
And the plaintiff covered it for you?
No.
Did she pay it?
No.
Who did?
I did.
Mr. Wade, it's a very foolish thing to have a bad memory and to lie. So one of the things that you really should know when you come to court is you don't sign a sworn deposition that is different from what you tell the judge. Do you understand?
Yes.
That's a really good idea. Consider a judge that, is going to believe everything, maybe doesn't read everything. You just told me she never paid the money. You paid it.
Correct.
That's what you told me. This is what you wrote in your answer. Ashley never loaned me any money for bail. I'd mentioned to her that I was concerned about making my next bail payment, and the next thing I knew, I found money in my glove compartment. I tried to give it back to her, but she had refused to take it and insisted that I use it to pay my bail.
That's all correct?
Would you like to see that this is what you signed? Before you say anything.
No, thank you.
That's what you signed.
That's a lie, Your Honor. I have proof.
What's a lie? I just agreed with you. So why would you...
About the glove box. I have a bank statement right here.
Fix those two things for me, sir.
There's nothing to fix. That's all correct.
What's all correct?
Everything that's written down on that paper.
That's written down in the paper, so she paid your bail.
She didn't pay my bill. She did leave money in my glove box, but I didn't pay my bill with that money.
Oh, you mean you took money and you exchanged the money? You're a real smart guy. Okay, now I know who I'm dealing with. Great! I knew I would find out quickly who I was dealing with. Who are you?
His girlfriend.
His girlfriend. You have another girlfriend. You people must be idiots. Where he got $50,000 bail. What are you doing? Are you people out of your mind? Are you just dull-witted? $50,000 bail. Do you know how badly it must have been alleged that he hurt this former girlfriend? Do you have any clue? Duh. You too. Didn't you ask the question? Didn't you say to him, what are you on bail for?
No, I just never asked him.
You never asked him?
I should have, but I did not.
She knew.
The first thing that I would ask somebody if they say, I'm coming up a little short on bail. Bail? What, are you kidding? Bail for what? Oh, I got a speeding ticket. Oh, well, let him at least lie to you, but not even to ask, you have to be a dummy. It's $200. Now, Mr. Wade, I don't think that there's any issue that you should suspect that I like you in any way. I want you to get that from me. Now, the plaintiff also gave you other money, and I want you to tell me what you know about buying cars.
A lot.
A lot. Great. Most women don't know a lot about buying cars. Would you say that you know more, or say you know more than what this one knows about buying cars?
Most definitely.
You knew more about what Miss Henderson knows about buying cars?
Of course.
She was in the market for a car because hers was not reliable. And she says that she gave you money towards a car to purchase for her. And in total, she gave you $2,500?
Yes.
In two different payments, $2,500. $1,500 once and then $1,000?
Actually, it was 3 payments. The first payment was $1,000, and then 2 days later, I paid him another $500, and then about a month later, I paid him another $1,000.
Now, why did you pay him this money in 3 payments?
Because the first time I was just trying to get a vehicle, and I gave him $1,000, and I asked him if that was enough. And
do you mean to find a vehicle for you?
Yes.
Because he's so smart.
Yes. And then that was enough, and then he showed me a vehicle, and he told me if I paid $500 more that he would be able to get the title for this car. And when he went and said that he paid the guy the money, he never got the title. And so then right there, I knew that was a red flag, that he didn't pay me.
That's like not asking what he was arrested for.
Yeah. And he never paid me for it. Or gave me the title for it, I'm sorry. And then he just kept showing me the car and kept showing me the vehicle. I have it in text messages, actually.
Can I see it?
Yes.
So this is the car he showed you?
Yes. And he told me it was $2,500 and that he knew the person that was selling it and that he would give me a deal for it. And so if I could come up with another $1,000, I couldn't pay it until I got my tax money. So I'd wait till I got my tax return to pay the rest of the money that I owed on it.
Did he ever bring the car over for you to see?
No.
Did you ever ask him the name of the guy who was the seller?
No.
I'd like to see the text messages that you have. Okay, now I'd like to hear your version, because you don't deny that she actually gave you this money, but you don't say it was for a car.
I suggested a car for her to purchase. I sent her that picture, suggested her to purchase this car. Why did I send that specific picture? Because I know a lot more about Grand Prix than any other vehicle.
What did she give you the money for?
She didn't give me money like that. It was in my glove box.
It was what?
It was in my glove box.
I think I always knew what the definition of a bum.
Like, you know, I also have
It's not what your text messages say, Mr. Wade. Do you understand? Do you have family?
Sure.
Hmm?
Yes.
Yes. Your parents?
Of course.
Are they living?
Yes.
Do they watch television?
Of course.
Do they watch me?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure. Well, they're going to watch now because you're on TV. So everybody knows that you're on $50,000 bail for a non-first-time offense. You probably beat up one and you hustled your ex-girlfriend out of more. And you got him. Lucky you. Are you lucky? Okie dokie. That's $2,700. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I do believe it was pretty fair.
Honestly, I think it was unfair.
I think he knows that he's wrong and he's embarrassed about it.
Honestly, I don't really care anymore.
Make sure next time someone has bail, I check to what it's for.
I don't care. She can go about her life. I don't care, honestly.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Thomas versus Cotto. Step forward.
Motorist Rhonda Thomas is suing Rosemary Cotto for car damage and medical expenses after she hit Rosemary's dog when it ran into the road.
I have a claim, and your car and the defendant's dog collided.
Correct.
And it is your claim that the defendant is responsible for the damage to your car. You had insurance. There was a deductible.
Correct.
And there was a $500
Yes,
deductible.
ma'am.
And then you want some other nonsense. I don't know. Medical expenses, yours. Ms. Cotto says that actually you were not driving on the road. You had swerved into her driveway, and that you were on her property, and she wants you to pay the vet bills for the dog. I would like you to go over and show me on that chart. Show me where your car was and where the collision took place between your car and Ms. Cotto's dog.
So I was driving this way, and out of my peripheral vision, a black dog was running straight out of the driveway right into the front portion of my car.
I want you to take your finger, because there's a whole big hand there and you're moving it around. Show me on there where the dog collided with your car. Point. Now you're on a line. You're not in the middle of a road. Now you're in the middle of a road.
Yes.
I don't know what that line was. The line looks like it's a walk path. Were you in the walk path?
I was not, Your Honor. I was right in the middle of the road.
Okay. And where were you going?
I was coming home from work on a Thursday, the 22nd of March.
And what was damaged on your car?
The underneath of my car, the black, I'm not sure what they call it, just the cover for everything under the hood was in the middle of the road behind me. The damage was some part of the light in front of my car, and also the front right bumper. And I have pictures if you'd like to see.
I'd like to see them. I would like you to make a circle on these pictures, please, where you say the dog caused damage.
Your Honor, it's hard to see because it's underneath the car. The primary damage was under the vehicle.
I would just like you to make
Sure.
a circle on where you say the dog caused damage.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Okay, your house is nowhere near the road. Now, I want you to point to me where she came up on your driveway and hit your dog. Now you can go back. It's a stupid story. I know it's a stupid story and you're sticking to it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Motorist Rhonda Thomas says Rosemary Cotto owes Murray's dog after it darted into the street.
Now, don't give me all the pictures, just the picture of where you say the dog caused damage. Make a circle. Don't make a circle of the whole picture. I don't want you to make a circle on the whole picture. I want you to circle the place where you say the dog did damage. Okay, first of all, what I'm telling you is that I don't believe the dog did this damage. That's old rust underneath the car.
Excuse me,
nothing to do with the dog.
2017, it was a brand new car.
Well, somebody went over something in a grocery store or something. The dog didn't do this damage. The dog did this damage. In any event, you had the car fixed. You had a $500 deductible. You want her to pay it. You wouldn't have taken the car in for the other damage. Now, you say, no way. She came up on my driveway and hit my car. Now go over there. Ms. Cotto, go over there. Show me where your house is.
My home is here.
That's your house. No, just a second. No, that's your whole house. Make a finger around your whole house. That's your whole house, okay? Your house is nowhere near the road. Point to me where she came up on your driveway and hit your dog. I want you to show me.
This?
That's not your driveway. No. Now you can go back. It's a stupid story. I know it's a stupid story and you're sticking to it. So, you were coming home or your husband was coming home? You were coming home or your husband was coming home?
He was coming home. I was already home walking the dog.
That's right. And the dog got excited when your husband came home?
Yes.
Okay. And ran out of the house?
No, I was walking the dog. I had given the leash to my fiance, and I went in to get the dog a treat, as I normally do after, a walk. I give her a treat.
You have to pay the $500 deductible on her car.
I don't believe I should have to pay for the $500 deductible for damages that weren't done by my dog.
Yes. Your dog collided. You clearly say your dog collided with her car. You want me to believe that you were walking your dog and she went off the road into your driveway and hit your dog. That's what your answer says.
No, at that point I was not walking my dog. I was done with the walk. I had given the dog...
Whoever was holding the dog, somebody was holding the dog. He was holding... Don't get pale, I'm not going to call on you. And he was holding the dog on a leash, and the plaintiff's car, Miss Thomas's car, came up on your... And he was holding the leash so hard, he had rope burns on his hand.
Ma'am, can I just show you the picture of my driveway? Because it does blend in very... It's very similar to the sidewalk and the ending of my driveway, which is what I was showing you here. It blends in.
I want you to tell me something. When you're driving down the road, unless you're telling me that you and the plaintiff share a driveway, she did not go up on your driveway to hit your dog.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You want me to call on you? I want you to be careful in what you say. You have family?
Yes.
You have parents?
Yes.
You have brothers and sisters?
Yes.
You have friends?
Yes.
You have a job?
Yes.
You're sure you want me to call on you?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Motorist Rhonda Thomas says Rosemary Cotto owes for car damage caused when she ran into Rosemary's dog after it darted into the street.
So, unless you're telling me that you and the plaintiff share a driveway, she did not go up on your driveway to hit your dog.
No, but from what he's telling me, she clearly wasn't paying attention and was swerving into my driveway.
You want me to call on you? I want you to be careful in what you say. You have family? Do you have family?
Yes.
Yes. You have friends?
Yes.
You have a job?
Yes.
You're sure you want me to call on you?
Sure.
Go. Fairly, no. Sorry. Right back there. Tell me the story.
She handed me the leash. I was outside with my son.
She handed you the leash.
She handed me the leash.
You were outside with your son. Now, when she came, pay careful attention to me. She came home in a car.
Well, she was walking the dog.
Okay, you came home in a...
my truck.
Truck.
Right.
And you pulled the truck into the driveway.
Correct. I was standing outside.
Just a second. How many cars do you have?
2.
Is there a garage?
No.
So you pulled up right next to her car?
Yes.
Now, when you pull up right next to her car, normal people pull up as close to the entrance of the house as possible, because otherwise they have to walk. So when she parked as close to the house as she could, and you pulled up next to her, right?
Correct.
Good. Now, I want you to go over there.
Okay.
Go over there. I want you to point out where the entrance to the house is. The entrance, no, that's the entrance to the road. I want you to point to the house.
Well, this...
We'll make a house. That's the house. No. Don't go there. House.
House is right here.
Well, she told me that her house was over there.
Well, the house is too far from the road, Your Honor.
Show me where the entrance is to the house.
Well,
no, on the house.
It would be right here.
On the house.
Right here.
Right there.
It would be right
now,
here.
Shh. Now I want you to show me where her... Pay attention. I want you to show me where her car was parked. Show me where... Point with your finger where her car...
Right there.
Her car was parked there. Now I want you to show me how deep you can drive into in that brown area. How far can you go? No, not that way, the other way. Towards the entrance to the house. Towards the... Move your finger up that way.
Yep.
Right. So you can park there. Sir.
Well, what I'm trying
to... just answer my question. Then you can tell me your story.
Okay.
So you can park there, near the entrance.
Yes, you could. You could park here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So I was standing outside with my son as she had handed me the leash. She went inside to get the dog a treat. I don't know if she was either texting or if, she wasn't paying attention, but she swerved and hit my dog.
Okay, go. The dog's okay.
Yeah, the dog's fine.
Thankfully, my dog is okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. Keep your dog on a leash. We're done.
I have a countersuit.
No, you don't. I mean, you have a countersuit. I ruled in her favor. She gets her deductible. It's your fault. Your dog was out of your control. We're done.
My dog was leashed, and I do have a countersuit for vet bills.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm pleased. I'm grateful that the dog is okay.
The fact that she claims my dog did damage that was previously done.
No, in fact, she asked me to give her money to take the dog to the vet.
It was only a puppy and it was leashed.
Clearly unleashed. He came flying at me.
Now I really hope she enjoys her 5 minutes of fame.
Be in control of your animals.
Yeah, no, the judge clearly saw damage that wasn't caused by my dog.
If this dog was killed, it would have been devastating.
As soon as you met her, you started crying in your beer about money.
Number one, I didn't cry about the money.
Finding love online was a long shot.
I took out 6 payday loans in order to help him.
Any woman who knows a guy for 2 weeks and puts him up in a hotel room is stupid.
But her usefulness was short-lived.
He went back to live with his ex-girlfriend.
Not that I'm aware of.
Did you?
Yes.
He's a bum.
Whoa.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom. Is Judge Judy.
Jessica Benham is suing her ex-boyfriend, Jesus Luna, for hotel fees and bail money.
Order. All rise. It's case number 113 on the calendar in the matter of Benham versus Luna. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Luna, in what month did you meet the plaintiff?
I believe it was in April, Your Honor.
April of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
And you met her online?
Facebook.
When for the first time did you meet her in person?
Give or take probably a week after I met her on Facebook.
So that would be sometime in either April or early May?
Yeah, definitely
Is that right?
mid-April.
About April 15th, Your Honor.
Fine. And on what date were you expecting a settlement check?
Ooh. About a month after that, but because my employer had disputed the workman's comp claim because he hadn't paid us for 2 weeks, so he disputed it. The workman's comp people had to work with him, so it delayed it.
Delayed it for how long?
It delayed it for roughly about a month and a half.
And how much of a check did you get?
I got a check for $116 because garnishment had attached itself to the settlement check.
$116?
$116 out of a $200 or $2,000 exactly.
Going to get you one way or another?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you know that when you went through all the aggravation of getting the workman's comp?
Actually, I did. I did, but probably. I didn't think that they were going to take what they were going to take. I thought that they had a cap of like 30%, but apparently they didn't.
Tricked you.
Right. Still hurts, too.
Now, when you told the plaintiff, who you had met online, that you needed some money because you were evicted from your apartment. Did you discuss with her your settlement check?
First of all, that's not entirely accurate. When I first met with the plaintiff, I didn't say that I needed money. I said I didn't know what I was going to do.
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Am I going to throw myself off a bridge?
Right. No,
Am I going to sell my blood? Am I going to mug somebody? Maybe I could find somebody who would tide me over until the settlement check comes through.
Maybe I could be a little more clear.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, ma'am.
You know, because you first meet somebody in April, and then you have a problem making your bills the next month, right?
Right.
Usually you meet somebody, and the first thing you don't start doing is crying in your beer about not being able to support yourself as a grown man.
That's a big 10-4.
That's it.
But let me explain something to you, ma'am. I didn't, what I was doing was I was renting a place from a guy who said that he was the owner of the home.
I have a husband.
I understand
I've had enough of my own trouble.
Right.
Right? I don't need to hear any of yours.
Right.
My question is, as soon as you met her, you started crying in your beer about money.
No.
Well, did you have May's rent?
Yes.
Did you have June's rent?
No.
What rent did she help you with?
She didn't help me with rent?
She helped you get a place because you were evicted from your apartment. In what month?
This was in May.
May. Well, if you met her in April, you say sort of the end of April, she said April 15th. That's 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Within 2 weeks, you started crying about not having money, to a place to live.
Yeah, well, it was, it's a little, I think that's a little off.
What's a little off?
Okay, number one, I didn't cry about the money, okay? Number two...
Well, what did you tell her you were going to do when you got thrown out?
Well, this is what I told her. She had called me, and I said this. I says, hey, right now, I really can't talk to you. I'm in a bind. I just was evicted from my place. Unbeknownst to me, I was renting from somebody that was renting from somebody. So she said this. I don't want to see you on the street, and I don't want to see you with nowhere to go. Let me get you a hotel room.
Just a second. When did you tell... Well, this may be true. When did you tell her about the settlement check?
About 2 weeks when I had found out from my job that I hadn't been paid, and we went to the labor board.
Were you in the hotel room already?
Yes, ma'am.
She didn't have any information about a settlement that was coming. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Is that correct?
No.
Tell me when he told you about the settlement.
Well, he told...
No, don't look like this.
He told me initially that...
Because I actually believe that any woman who knows a guy for 2 weeks and puts him up in a hotel room is stupid.
Oh, I was ignorant. I admit that.
Okay.
He told me that he was going to get paid, and when he got paid, he would give me money. But then the paycheck never came. And so
you kept paying for the hotel room?
He told me that...
Did you ever go to the hotel room?
No. Not really. I mean, I would...
I don't know what that means, not really. Not
I mean,
really,
I would go... I would
really
go...
never went to the hotel room? What does that mean?
I wouldn't go in the room. I would go to the hotel and, you know, use my credit card, but I would never go in the room.
Is what you're telling me that you were never in Mr. Luna's hotel room?
Correct.
Is that right?
No, that's not true. One time I was at the Super 8 motel. I asked her, did she get the room? Because she was telling me she had got the room. I said, did you get the room? She said, yeah. I said, okay, did you get a smoking room? Because I'm a smoker. She said, yeah, I did, and I'm in the hotel room waiting for you. When I got to the hotel room, she was sitting on the bed, and she said, you had asked me earlier, what would I want from you about a relationship? And I said, okay, what are you getting at? She says, why don't we have a... I kind of got a glimpse of what was going on there when she said, why don't we get through this? Not let's get you through this, but why don't we get through this? And she's sitting on the hotel bed, okay? So she was already in the room when I got to the room.
Did she ever come to the room at any other time?
Yeah, she came into the room almost every time she rented a room for me. There was a couple times that she didn't, but for the most part, every time she did.
Well, were you thrown out of the room, and did she have to rent the room again for you? Or
No,
did she have to come every day?
She did this repeatedly. She did this daily for about a month and a half, 2 months.
You had to go and give him your credit card monthly? Mm-hmm. Daily?
Yeah.
She actually sent me Western Union.
That's ridiculous, Miss Benham. And he told you that he was going to pay you back when?
When he got his settlement money.
No, he told you, he gave you a date. He said, I'm going...
By the end of May.
How long did he stay in the hotel room?
He stayed in hotels till the end of May.
And then what happened?
I got to the point where I couldn't financially help him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I took out 6 payday loans in order to help him, in order to put him in hotel rooms. He agreed to pay me back the money that I loaned him.
Mm-hmm. Out of his settlement check?
Yes.
But he only got $116.
He didn't.
That's what he's telling me. I have no reason to doubt him.
He told me it was a substantial amount.
I can't help you. I also can't help you out with the bail. I think there comes a time when you have to say to yourself, wake up, smell the roses. This is not happening. He's a bum.
Whoa.
Well,
I mean, I have a text message.
Did you pay your child support?
Yes, I did.
Then why did they take out $2,000 of your settlement?
Because it was an arrears case.
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
No,
if you have an arrears case, you didn't pay child support.
Yes, ma'am, but all I owed was that amount on it, and because my children are over 18 years of age, those arrears sat. And then when they finally found out about it, they just took the complete amount, so now that's done.
That doesn't belie the fact that you didn't pay child support.
You're right.
Of course
Your
I'm right.
Honor, I have a text message right here that shows that he agreed to pay me back.
Then I'll see it.
I believe page 2.
Shh. Yeah. He said, I understand, I just know that since he is now cooperating with the labor board that he is going to pay, and I would give that to you. $116 is what he got. That's all he got from the labor board. That's all he got from his settlement.
He told me it was a...
$2,400.
He only got $116.
But he did not tell me that.
I don't care whether he told you that. That's not up to me. It's up to you. If you make a contract, you're suing on a contract. You're suing on a verbal contract. If he said, uncross your hands.
I'm sorry.
If a person who is in a contract says, loan me $50, I know I have a sure thing, and I'm going to get money. I'm going to bet my money on number 3, and I'm going to pay you as soon as number 3 comes in. And number 3 doesn't come in. Do you get your money?
No.
No. He said, I'm going to pay you as soon as I get this settlement. He doesn't say, I'm going to give me the $50 to bet on horse number 3, and if horse number 3 doesn't come in, I'll give you back the money anyway. That's not what he said to you. He said, now he's cooperating with the labor board, and I would give that to you. What he got was $116. That's what he got. And if he had come to live with you instead of coming to live elsewhere, we wouldn't be here today. He went back to live with his ex-girlfriend, is that right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Did you?
Yes.
Of course, that's what it says here.
And she tried to get me to stay in her house. I stayed at her house 3 nights, and I took her car to the labor board to get the settlement check, so she knew exactly what it was.
Oh, just a second. You mean after you stayed in the motel, you went to her house?
Yeah, because she said, I can't pay for the hotels. She took me to her home. She told her specifically, I do not want to do this. This is uncomfortable.
How old are you?
I'm 40.
How much do you weigh?
About 240.
You don't want to go, you don't go. Go to a men's shelter.
Right. You're right. But
of course I'm right. I'm always right.
You're right, but... Okay, so, but I tried to be amicable because of what she had done for me. I don't look a gift horse in the mouth, and I understand what she did for me. But, Your Honor, if I'm guilty of anything, it's being an A. And if she's guilty of anything, she's guilty of...
I second that motion.
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Okay, is that what you paid?
Yes.
$150.
Yes.
Why are you suing him for $750?
Because I had to take a loan out to pay the $150.
But you're suing him for $750.
And later today,
in January of 2017, she asked to borrow $4,000. Since I had received a large settlement, I had the money to lend her.
Correct.
You didn't get the money until months later.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jessica Benham says her ex-boyfriend, Jesus Luna, manipulated her into loaning him $4,600 for hotel fees.
Sir?
My bail was $750.
Let's stop talking about the hotel room for a while, because I'm less sympathetic about the hotel room than I am about your bail.
Mm-hmm.
May 15th, you got picked up on a warrant.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh, it's not an answer. Yes is an answer. And you got picked up on a warrant from where?
Denver, Colorado.
What did they pick you up for?
Traffic violation. I had failed to appear because I had been hit by a semi-truck and failed to appear, and it was a failure to appear.
So they picked you up on a warrant that had nothing to do with child support.
Right.
But the child support dropped on you at the time.
Right.
And at that time, the bail was set at $750.
Correct.
And that $750 went towards your child support?
No.
Where did it go?
the $750 bail. She went through a bondsman, paid $150, and that was the end of it.
Okay, is that what you paid?
Yes.
$150?
Yes, to the bondsman, but...
But what?
He's still on bond.
Yeah, but you only paid $150. Why are you suing him for $750?
Because I had to take a loan out to pay the $150.
But you're suing him for $750.
I had to take a loan out for $750.
Why?
Because he kept calling me from jail, making my account in the hole. In that text message, I said, if I get a loan, you have to guarantee to pay me back.
Listen, Miss Benham, $50 in bail to get him out. You did not. You paid $150 to get him out. So I said, why, in this case, are you suing him for $750? And you give me all kinds of answers, but you didn't give me an answer. All you paid to get him out was $150.
Yes.
Well, you're entitled to that because you didn't make the babies that he was behind in child support for, and you didn't go through a traffic sign or speed. That was his problem.
He told me a completely different story as to why.
I don't care. You get your $150. The other stuff, sorry, we're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He kept saying he was going to pay me back.
Oh, man. Are you serious?
I had a heart.
When she ran out of money is when I figured out it wasn't going to work out.
I don't speak to him.
She's not a cutie. She wanted the booty, and she lost the lootie. You understand what I'm saying?
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Tenorio versus Patterson. Step forward.
Jessica Tenorio is suing her former friend, 25-year-old Ashley Patterson, for an unpaid loan to catch up on her bills.
Mr. Tenorio, I'm going to get some questions that I have in my head out of the way before we get on to the facts of this case. What kind of work do you do?
I'm a cashier / night auditor.
And what is your weekly take-home pay?
$300.
What kind of a settlement did you receive?
In my building.
Explain it to me.
I fell on black ice.
Did you have a lawyer?
Yes, I did.
And what was the settlement?
$65,000.
That's what you cleared?
Mm-hmm.
And when did you make that settlement?
In March.
Of what year?
Of last year.
Okay. What kind of work do you do, Miss Patterson?
Right now, I'm unemployed.
Where did you live last year?
I lived in New York.
When did you move?
I moved in July of 2018.
Where did you move to?
To North Carolina.
What kind of surgery did you want to have?
My breast.
When?
Last year in February.
That was before the settlement came due?
Yes.
How expensive was the surgery?
It was $4,000.
Where did you have it done?
In Colombia.
And then what happened?
Ashley took care of me, and I gave her an extension period of time for her to pay me back.
Okay, we didn't get to the money yet. When did you give her money?
Before I left.
That was before you got your settlement?
Yes.
So my question is, where did you get the money from?
My savings.
You're going to have to do this for me. Since it's not what you wrote in your complaint, you're going to have to show me proof of where you gave her $4,000 from.
Sure.
I'd like to see it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't disagree with you that you probably loaned her some money. I don't think you loaned her anywhere near $4,000. So unless I get an answer that I'm comfortable with, I'm going to dismiss your case. Do you understand?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jessica Tenorio says her former friend, Ashley Patterson, borrowed money to catch up on bills and has never paid her back.
Now, let's go over the timeline again. You got your settlement in March of 2017. You wanted to have surgery in February.
Correct.
What did you need money for?
I was behind in some bills.
Would you kindly try to explain to me what you're showing me as far as a withdrawal is concerned for 2016?
Which one? Oh, that's what I lent to Ashley.
Show me the date. Cash withdrawal from savings, $3,500. This doesn't tell me where it went to. It's not even the same amount of money that you're suing for. You and I get a little real. Your complaint that you filed said, in January of 2017, she asked to borrow $4,000 because she needed money. Since I had received a large settlement, I had the money to lend her.
Correct.
You didn't have the money. You didn't get the money until months later.
That was my savings.
You just told me that you got your settlement in March of 2017. This cash withdrawal in a totally different amount is for $3,500 in December of 2016. Want to start over again?
Sure.
Something that I'm going to believe? I'm not believing you. I don't necessarily think that you didn't loan her some money. I don't believe that you loaned her $4,000.
I have a message that it shows that I lended the money.
Can I see that, Bird? It doesn't say you lent her $4,000. I don't disagree with you that you probably loaned her some money. I don't think you loaned her anywhere near $4,000. Do you understand?
Yes.
So unless I get an answer that I'm comfortable with, I'm going to dismiss your case without prejudice. You can go back and you can try it in North Carolina, in New York, wherever you like.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You want to start over again?
I lended the money in the year 16.
You didn't get your settlement, which is what you said you gave her the money from, until 3 months later.
It was my savings?
That's not what you said. And that's not the amount you say you lent her. You want to start over again? How much money did she lend you?
She lent me $4,000 in January.
That's not what her evidence says.
I just picked up the money. I don't know where she got it from. I know she got it from her settlement, but...
She didn't get her settlement until 2 months later. I'm really not comfortable about this case, so that you can take it back to your local small claims court, and maybe that judge will be more comfortable with it. We're done here.
By his excuse, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
So the two of you were in bed, and the 3 young children were unsupervised in the kitchen.
A rude awakening set off his single roommate.
It got noisy. I said, hey, can you guys keep it down?
And that started an argument.
Then morning turned dark.
She doesn't belong here.
And tell me how the argument ended.
She punched me in my jaw.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Mary Bizarre is suing her ex-roommate, Joshua Beaumont, for breaking a lease, a stolen phone, and a false restraining order.
Order. All rise. It's case number 68 on the calendar, the matter of Bizarre versus Beaumont.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Bizarre, who was your boyfriend in 2017?
Anthony Jordan.
How long had you been seeing him?
We just started seeing each other. We met at work. We had been friends for a
Mr. Jordan?
while. Yes.
Is he still your boyfriend?
Yes.
So you've been with him for quite some time?
Yes.
He's not married?
No.
And you're not married?
No.
Who was this?
This is Anthony Jordan.
Where does Mr. Jordan work?
At Amazon.
And where do you work?
Amazon.
Do you work in the same location?
Yes, the same building.
So you have a serious relationship?
Yes, we do now.
Okay, good. Now that I've dealt with that, let me tell you what this case. Beaumont leased an apartment together. What was the start date of the lease?
June 12th, 2017.
Mr. Beaumont moved out. On what date did you move out?
I moved out November 19th.
After some argument that transpired because Mr. Beaumont had a girlfriend. Girlfriend had children. He had children. You were living there by yourself. You don't have children.
I do not living there.
No, you did not. And there was a major kerfuffle involving the children. Mr. Beaumont left. And you want him to be responsible for the rent from November until June.
June, correct.
Well, you sort of acknowledge, and Mr. Beaumont says that there was a very bad argument that involved the children. You actually got excited. He felt that it was an unsafe environment for the children and for his girlfriend, who was then pregnant, and he was forced to leave. The reason that I ask you about your boyfriend is that when things got out of hand on that night, I don't remember the date.
It was the morning.
Or the morning.
Yes.
And it got out of hand to the extent that you felt as if you were being ganged up on.
Yes.
And you called your boyfriend to come over.
Yeah.
That was in the morning of November 19th.
Yes.
And what I'm curious about is, why didn't you and your boyfriend decide to move in together?
Oh, because he's in a, well, there's a few reasons why we didn't move in the beginning, but he was in another lease, so, and I needed to move in.
Just a second. He was in another lease. Yes. Is he still in the other lease? We're talking about a year ago. So he didn't have a 2-year lease. So when was his?
No.
When was your lease up, Mr. Jordan?
It was up in May.
In May. And where are you now?
I'm still at the same
So
place.
you renewed your lease?
No.
Yeah, he was new to his lease.
What?
He was new to his lease at the time that we started the lease.
That's not what I'd asked him.
Oh.
Your lease was up in May.
Yes.
Did you renew your lease?
No, I did not.
Where did you go?
To my sister's.
I don't believe you.
You can call.
Do you know what I mean?
This May.
I'm talking about this May.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I do.
Yes.
I do.
So if the two of you were dating, and you've been dating for over a year, that would suggest to me that you at least spent some evenings together.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
And it would suggest to me that if he didn't renew his lease and he was living independently, as you said to me, and went to live at his sister's, you're not going to sleep over at his sister's. So if you're living alone, so if you're living alone and you work in the same building at Amazon, even though you may work different shifts, it would seem only logical to me that when he was sleeping over, and since you weren't...
He did stay at my place sometimes.
Okay.
He did sometimes stay at my place, even when Josh was there.
I'm not talking about sometimes staying at your place when Mr. Beaumont was there. I'm saying when he didn't renew his lease on his apartment, when you called him on November 19th where he was living, and he didn't renew that lease, my question to you is, do you want me to believe that he moved in with his sister, or do you think that a grown-up person like me would think that he moved in with you?
These are two different times. These are two different times. Right now, my lease now ended, and his lease has ended, so now we can move together. But at the time...
Just a second. I'm not talking about at the time. I'm talking about in 2018, in May of 2018. Where was Mr. Jordan living in May?
In May, he was still at the house. His lease is ended now. We are now relocating, and so we are now going to move together. We are now... we just... The time we met and our...
Ms. Buzzer, I'm not buying what you're saying to me. Okay? I'm not buying what you say to me. You caught maximum $5,000 for breaking the lease. You want to tell me, Mr. Beaumont, what happened on November 19th that caused you to leave the house?
November 19th, it was peak season at Amazon. So we was working sick time. Me and Mary were working together. So I informed her before that the kids will be there, my girlfriend will be there, everybody's going to be there. So just in case, you know, we don't go home and she sees everybody at the house.
Just a second. How many is everybody?
I have 5 kids now. So at that time, I had my 2 boys, her daughter, her, and me. So we were all going to be there. And they...
You mean all going to live there?
No, they're there on the weekends. So I have my kids on the weekends, so she would come over on the weekends. And
your girlfriend?
Yes, and because she
would come over on the weekend and bring her daughter?
That's not true.
Yes.
Is what you're telling me your girlfriend, who was then pregnant, was not living at your house?
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's true, but she only came to the house about 4 times. In that whole 5 months, she only came to our home about 4 times.
4 times?
4 times total.
Okay, and the last time was on November 19th?
Yes.
Oh, that's fine. That's reasonable, because it would be unreasonable for the two of you to go into a lease together, and all of a sudden he has a whole bunch of ducklings coming along with him, and you're all by yourself, and you have a very taxing job. I got it. Give me the Reader's Digest version.
Okay.
November 19th in the morning.
Okay, so in the morning, I always get my kids up, tell them...
Just tell me what happened.
Basically...
Not basically. I don't want to hear basically.
So Mary woke up. She said the kids were being loud. Well, she called out one of the children, which is her daughter, and I call her my daughter, so...
She's not your daughter. She called out your girlfriend's daughter.
Yeah, and she said, well, she was yelling at her, and she said, this child is loud. She doesn't need to be in the kitchen. Get this thing out of here. She doesn't belong here. So that's when
Was that on a weekend or a
This was Sunday, Sunday morning.
Listen, when I talk to you, I talk to you. When I talk to him, I don't. Go ahead.
So this was Sunday morning. All this happened Sunday morning.
And the apartment that you leased with the plaintiff, it had 2 bedrooms in it?
3.
3. And she had a bedroom?
Yes.
She had the master bedroom?
Yes.
And there were 2 smaller bedrooms?
Yes.
So there was room for the children. Now, how did you split up the rent?
We split everything evenly. 800, she paid 800, and then we did the utilities evenly.
You did what, evenly?
Yeah. Well, we split everything down the middle.
Even though you were many more people than she was?
Yeah.
Well, that was nice of her. Okay, but she says that your girlfriend really only came over 4 times in the months that you were there from June until November.
Yes, she wasn't over, like, a lot.
Okay, so she was yelling at your girlfriend's daughter.
She said that she didn't want her in the kitchen. I explained to Mary that she's just using the microwave. There's nothing wrong with her using the microwave. I told her.
Was she being loud? That question is, no, was the child?
No, she was being as loud as any kid would be, pushing buttons, closing and closing the microwave door. But it wasn't just her. It was my other 2 children as well. So
they were all in the kitchen?
They did one at a time, because I don't allow them all together. So,
why?
Because kids get loud and they start doing extra stuff. So to minimize the loudness, one at a time.
How old are they? Give me the age.
At that time, there was 2 8-year-old and 1 6-year-old.
Okay, that needed supervision. And where were you and your girlfriend?
I was in the room.
What room?
My room.
You were in bed?
Yes, I was.
And where was your girlfriend?
She was next to me.
So the 2 of you were in bed, and the 3 young children, 2 8-year-olds and a 6-year-old, were unsupervised in the kitchen?
No, my oldest, he was in the kitchen first. He made his breakfast in the microwave.
And then where did he go?
He went to the table.
What table?
The table that was right across from the kitchen.
Is it in the kitchen?
It's not in the kitchen. I have a picture of how it was set up. So
is it a breakfast room off the kitchen?
It's
what is it?
It's a dining area.
Can you see the kitchen from the dining area?
Yes.
Is my question.
Yes.
You can area that's next to it.
It's an actual room. So
I'll take a look.
Yeah, I have.
Just show me.
This is how the kitchen was set up. The first picture is the living room / dining area, and that's the kitchen.
So this is where the dining room table is?
Yes.
Okay, and this is the kitchen?
The kitchen is where my name is at. Yes, that's the kitchen.
Here?
Yes.
Okay, so the 3 children were in this area,
yes,
unsupervised. One would go in because it's a very small kitchen, use it, and then come out and be here, and you and your girlfriend were in bed?
Yes.
In the morning? That's, okay, that's what I got.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So now you get into a discussion with her because the little girl, she said, was making too much noise, and she came out and she said, get this thing out of here. Thing, is that what you said?
That's what she said.
And that started an argument.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Mary Bizarre says ex-roommate Joshua Beaumont broke their lease, stole her phone, and filed a false restraining order against her.
So now you get into a discussion with her because the little girl, who was how old? And she came out and she said, get this thing out of here. Yeah. Whatever it is you say that she said, get this thing. Is that what you said?
That's what she said.
Wow. Get this out of here. And that started an argument.
Yes, it did.
Started an argument. And tell me how the argument ended.
So the argument, within the argument, I told her, Mary, I am on the lease too. I told her that she can make her breakfast in the microwave. It's not the stove. She knows how to operate the microwave, and it should be done. She then said, it doesn't matter. I want her out of my kitchen. And I told her, it's not your kitchen. And then that's when my girlfriend came because she heard all the loudness and commotion.
Don't tell me what she heard. Your girlfriend got out of bed.
Yes. She came to get her daughter, and I said, no, it's okay. I told her she can make her waffles, and then she can eat. Because at that time, she was really crying, and she didn't know what to do because all the loud and yelling. So when I told Mary, like, I don't have to listen to you. This is my house. I'm a grown man as well. That's when she proceeded, and she punched me in my jaw. And then I kind of stood there like, okay. And when my girlfriend seen it, she got upset, and then Mary proceeded to leap over me and hit her as well. So she scratched her on the ear, so she hit her. And then I told her, Mary, if this is how you're gonna act, I can no longer be here. You've hit me, you've hit my girlfriend, which was with child.
You have any verification of that?
Well, I made a police report.
I'd like to see it.
Which is right here.
Just a minute, I'd like to see it.
And then After that incident, okay.
You made a police report in November.
Yes.
On report date November 21st. Well,
wow.
Why didn't you call back the police officer who left you a message?
Oh, we were trying to...
That's a reason. I said, why didn't you call back the police officer?
I did several times. My schedule is through the middle of the night to the day, and his schedule was, we were off schedule. We were going back and forth with phone calls. I did speak to him, and then, I don't know, he said that...
Don't tell me what he said. This
no,
says,
I did speak to him, and I had to go through with appearing in court, and I was going to do that. We went back and forth trying to reach each other.
Just a second, well, then let's go further. So you did finally contact the police officer because Mr. Beaumont went into the police and said he desired prosecution because you had struck him.
I wasn't aware of the police report at all.
Just a second.
I got the call, and then I got the subpoena in the mail.
I understand.
Remember the date? I have the subpoena, so it was 12/13?
In December?
Yes, December 13th, 2017.
And you want to tell me what happened with that case?
Yes. So we went to court, and...
what was the court for?
It was for a restraining order.
So he filed an application for a restraining order. I'd like to see it.
Here's the restraining.
Are you still working for Amazon?
Yes.
You still working for Amazon? Different shifts?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what happened when you went to court with this application for a restraining order?
Yes. It was denied. The judge...
Don't tell me what the judge said.
It was denied.
Did you have a hearing?
Yes.
Okay, and you testified?
Yes.
And did you testify?
Yes.
And at the end of the hearing, what happened?
It was denied, and he told me that I needed to file for the breaking the lease. He told me, you know you need to take him to court, and I said yes.
Okay, I don't believe that.
That is what he said.
Well, I don't believe it. Unless you have the minutes of that hearing, that's hearsay. And I cannot imagine somebody who's asking for a protective order, and even if the application was denied, a judge saying, well, you have to take him to court.
He needed to have a restraining order in order to get out of his lease, is what he said. And the judge said, I will not help you get out of your lease. And he turned to me and said, you need to take him to court.
Okay. Well,
and
you
that's
took him
what
to
I
court.
said, okay.
You took him to court. You took him to court.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You do understand you're trying to talk over me.
No.
He's not paying you from December to June. That's not happening. That's not happening. Do you understand?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Mary Bizard has accused ex-roommate Joshua Beaumont of breaking their lease, stealing her phone, and filing a false restraining order against her.
It was an unsafe environment. He had to leave.
It was not an unsafe environment.
Okay. You want to tell me what happened on the 19th? You tell me what happened on the 19th of November. I'm telling you it's an unsafe environment.
On the 19th, because we get off at 5 in the morning. I get off at 5 in the morning. I got something to eat for breakfast. He got something for the kids, microwavable stuff. We both went home. I went in to cook and eat, and I went into the room, and then he settled in, I think, a little bit, probably a half hour out. It got noisy, so I went into the room and I said, hey, we just got off from work. Can you guys keep it down? You know, we're really tired. And then I heard the noise in the kitchen. The microwave kept slamming, drawers opening and closing and stuff. I waited.
Did you pay November's
because
rent?
I thought maybe
Did you pay November's rent?
Yes, I did.
Right.
I waited through it because I thought that...
Did you pay November's rent?
Yes.
Did you pay December's rent?
I did not.
Okay. If you moved out, Mr. Beaumont, I'm not buying this story.
That's not
And
fair because I'm here for him and you're asking him
just a second.
the whole story.
Because I asked you a question and what I got were a lot of vagaries.
The only thing I can answer you on the judge is what he said, because that's what he said. And you see it says denied on that paper. You're not looking at that.
What I'm looking at was why he said he filed for a protective order at the time in November of 2017.
He told the judge because he wanted to get out of he wanted to be able to hold the lease, hold the reason why he left. He said that he was instructed by the police department to file a restraining order.
You do understand you're trying to talk over me.
No.
He's not paying you from December to June. That's not happening. That's not happening. Do you understand?
That's
Now,
not right. He walked in. This is the second lease he's walked, and he decides to just walk out again.
Then you took the wrong chance.
Yeah, I did make the wrong choice. I absolutely did.
And Anthony really should have been there.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Anthony, as long as you were living there...
He didn't sign an agreement with me. Josh did.
Your case is dismissed because you're not paying attention. Your case is dismissed. I was actually going to give you his share of December's rent because he left in late November and you could not have gotten another roommate in the month of December.
Well, this is wrong because it was all the way through June.
You're not getting money. You're not waiting till the end of your lease and then suing him. Do you understand?
I had a roommate in January.
Goodbye, we're done.
Wow.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Josh signed an agreement with me and he walked out on it.
You're putting your hands on me. You're putting your hands on my girlfriend who's pregnant.
Look at how big he is. I'm not gonna, it wasn't a fight.
There's no reason for me to stay in a hostile environment anymore.
He actually grabbed me and I pushed away.
She reached over him and smacked him.
Then I would never even consider moving with her.
What happened when the dog came up to you?
I told him to get away from me.
A neighbor's bulldog on the loose.
He came running across the grass and started yelling that I kicked his dog.
Your dog was off leash.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then he went off the chain.
It was dark, and I shined my flashlight. He was standing right here. He said, "You kicked my dog." I said, "Get away from me." That's when I made contact with him.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Tanner Davis is suing his former neighbor, Marion McDavid, for medical bills due to an assault.
Order. All rise. This case number 137 on the calendar in the matter of Davis versus McDavid.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Mr. Davis, this incident happened between you and the defendant in December of last year.
Yes, Your Honor.
On the 18th. What time?
Around 7:15 p.m.
Are you and the defendant neighbors? And you've seen the defendant before?
Not before the incident.
Have you seen the plaintiff before?
No.
Have either of you seen each other's dogs before?
No, Your Honor.
No.
So that you were strangers to each other and your dogs were strangers to each other. How long have you lived in that complex?
About 6, 7 months.
And you have a bulldog?
Yes.
How old is the bulldog?
Right now, he's 2.5.
So he was full grown on the time of the incident.
Yes, Your Honor.
And a bulldog weighs about 60 pounds.
He's about 30. He's a little French bulldog. I brought pictures today, too.
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
What are they called?
A French bulldog?
Oh, a French bulldog. Okay, so he's a smaller one.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were coming home and your dog was off leash.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you were out with your dogs?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were they on leash or off leash?
On leash.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have 2 Labrador retrievers. I have a picture.
I'd like to see them. Pretty dogs. How old are they?
One will be 9 Thursday. The other one will be 4 in October.
So it's about 7:15 in the evening. Your dogs are on leash. Your dog is off leash. And your dog approached Miss McDavid.
I'm from the store, and I was carrying him in my hands. I know, but
he was off leash and he approached her dogs.
Yes, Your Honor.
I know the story that you told me here. Your dog was off leash and approached the defendant and her dogs.
Yes.
And it is your claim that as a result of that interaction, you were injured by a flashlight that Miss McDavid swung at you, and you were injured. You want your medical bills paid.
Yep.
And Miss McDavid says she is counterclaiming she wants money since she had to defend herself. She had to hire an attorney. She felt uncomfortable living in the community anymore. She moved. She wants her moving expenses. You're not going to get any of that. I mean, I will consider the attorney's fees after I hear his case. So, Mr. Davis, let's start out at the moment that your dog approached Miss McDavid and her two dogs, because your dog ran up to her dogs.
Correct.
I'd like you to tell me, how far away were you from Miss McDavid when your dog ran up to Miss McDavid and her dogs?
I was at my front door. She was on the sidewalk, probably about roughly 30 feet.
Okay.
And we
Just
have
a second. So you were at your front door.
Yes.
Were you opening it with a key?
Yes.
And to get to the key, you had to go where? Into your pocket?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you had to put the dog down in order to do that, correct?
Correct.
Now, even that.
Yes.
Just a second. You do understand that.
I do.
Didn't jump out of your arms. You put the dog down. The dog was off leash. So the dog ran from your front door to where she was, which was about 30 feet away, which is about where I am, to the far corner of the courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
So in that moment, your dog was out of control. Now, I'm going to come to you, Miss McDavid. The dog is running towards you. It's a smaller dog, clearly smaller than your labs. And what happened when the dog came up to you?
When the dog ran up across the grass, I told him to get away from me.
And what happened next?
He came running across the grass, picked up his dog, and came running over in front of me and started yelling that I kicked his dog.
Okay.
I did not kick his dog.
What did he say to you?
He just kept yelling at me that you kicked my dog. I said, I did not kick your dog.
If it was dark and you were putting your key in, how could you tell that you kicked your dog?
The area is well lit. Like I
Okay.
said, I have pictures.
So the answer is the area is well lit. Did you take the dog to the vet that day as a result of being kicked?
No, Your Honor.
I assume you checked him for any injuries, and was he injured?
No, Your Honor.
Now, as the dog ran across to where she was with her dogs, was the dog barking?
No.
Was the dog barking?
No, ma'am.
And when it got to you...
I never let it get that close. My dogs, one is a baby and the other one is, and they're big and they pull, so I keep my dogs back.
Okay. Now, what happened, Mr. Davis, after you ran up to her? At this point, either she stomped her foot for your dog to get away or kicked your dog in such a way that he was not injured. How close did you get to Miss McDavid? Were you 10 feet away, 20 feet away? How far away were you?
Roughly 10 feet.
And did your dog run back to you?
No.
Did your dog stay near Miss McDavid?
Yes, Your Honor.
So even though she had kicked your dog and you were running, your uninjured dog did not run back to you, but stayed near Miss McDavid and her two dogs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right away, you know that that doesn't make sense to me. A little dog would get away from somebody who kicked them and would run to their master who was running up towards them. It just sort of makes sense. Maybe it happened. I don't know yet. So you run up to her, bend down, and pick up your dog. Is that what you did?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that what he did?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then what?
After I picked him up, Your Honor, I asked her why she would kick my dog.
I don't want you to say. I asked her why. You picked up the dog, and you said to her...
Why in the would you kick my dog?
And she said to you...
She didn't say...
Okay, let's get real. You said to her, why the blank did you kick my dog?
Yes, Your Honor.
She would have answered you. She didn't stand there mute. Do you understand? I have your complaint. I have what you wrote. Your complaint is different from the story that you're telling me today, Mr. Davis. How it got started, how the dog was in your arms, how it jumped out of your arms instead of you putting it down to open up your front door. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss McDavid would have answered you. Do you want to tell me what she said?
Your Honor, she didn't answer me.
So what did you say to her?
Next thing that was said was, I'm calling the police.
How far away were you from Miss McDavid when you said, I'm calling the police?
Roughly 3 feet.
And you were calling the police, why?
Because she just hit me in the face with
Just a second. You didn't tell me that she hit you, sir. You mean you asked her, why did you kick my dog? She didn't answer you and then hit you. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
That doesn't make sense, Mr. Davis.
Yes, Your Honor.
That doesn't make sense. Who are you?
I'm his mother.
That doesn't make sense to you either, right?
Not sitting here listening to him now.
Not sitting here listening to him now. That doesn't make sense for picking up your dog. Why the blank did you hit my dog? She says nothing, and he just assaults him, and he says, I'm going to call the police. Something happened after you said, why the blank did you kick my dog? And when you were hit by the defendant, because there's no question that she swung something and connected with you so that you lost a tooth, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So since you can't give me an answer, sir, that I'm satisfied with, I'm going to ask her what happened. He walked up to you close enough to get his dog, so he was closer to you than he is now, and said, why the blank did you kick my dog? And you said, I didn't kick your dog.
Yes.
And then what's the next thing that happened?
He told me, yes, I did. Our altercation went back and forth. I didn't. I picked up my flashlight.
Just a second. He said...
You kicked my dog.
And you said, no, I didn't.
Yes.
And what's the next thing that happened?
It was dark, and I shined my flashlight. He was standing right here. And I shined my flashlight to see who he was. And I said, get away from me. He said, you kicked my dog. I said, get away from me. That's when I made contact with him.
Okay. Why didn't you leave? That sounds more reasonable, by the way. Whether she hit you or made a contact with you by going like this, there's no question she connected with you and you were injured. But you didn't just ask her once, why did you kick my dog? She didn't answer you. You took your dog and went home. Your dog wasn't injured. You stayed there and continued to have a conversation.
Yes, Your Honor. I had an earbud in, and that's when I called the police.
Why didn't you just leave? You had your dog in your hand, your uninjured dog that was off leash, ran up to somebody, not doing any harm. But somebody with an unleashed dog doesn't know that. Could just as easily have come up and bitten her. That was your bad, your fault. But it's back and forth. So you checked your dog out, I assume, when you picked your dog up because you saw that it was okay, right? Because you walked up to her. And as you walked up to her, you said to her, you kicked my dog. But you saw your dog was still there, wasn't on its side, wasn't howling, didn't screech out, nothing. So you picked up your dog, you asked her a question, she gave you an answer, you answered her back. You said, yes, you did. She said, no, I didn't. Why didn't you just walk away?
I should have, Your Honor.
Yeah, you should
I should have.
So now she tells me what she did with the flashlight that she had. How did she get close enough to you? She didn't come after you, Mr. Davis.
No.
So you were in her face, clearly.
Yes, Your Honor.
And where were you coming from that evening, Mr. Davis?
Smith's grocery store.
When did you go there?
Probably around 6:30 p.m.
Who do you live with?
My father.
Had you been to work that day?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you come home first or go directly to the grocery store?
I came home first from work.
What time?
I think about...
Where there's food and produce.
They don't, Your Honor.
They don't. And according to you, you'd been to work all day.
Yes, Your Honor.
Where was your dog?
At home in the apartment.
Who was home with him?
Nobody.
So the first thing that you did was take him out for a walk when you came home, I'm sure.
For a walk to the car.
Well, if the dog is home all day, that would make you a fool. If the dog was home all day, unless the dog is pad trained, you should have taken the dog for a walk. See where I'm going, Mr. Davis?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not believing your whole story.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
So she got a dog and had consulted with you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And now you say the puppy made all over the house.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what puppies do. They live all over the house. Big puppies, big little puppies get little.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tanner Davis says former neighbor Marion McDavid kicked his dog and then hit him in the mouth. Marion is countersuing for attorney fees, moving costs, and for filing false charges.
Now, I have dogs. When I go to the grocery store and I know dogs are not permitted in the grocery store, I don't take my dog to the grocery store. Why would you take the dog to the grocery store if that's where you were going, Mr. Davis, or coming home from, and leave the dog in a locked car?
Could I say something?
Were you there?
The dog was at my house that day. That's why the dog...
Just a second.
Okay.
That's not what he said.
I know.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's not what he said. That means he's lying to me.
I don't think he's remembering exactly.
Well, if you're not remembering, then you say, I don't remember. If you're not remembering, you don't lie and say the dog was home all day alone. And I went and picked up my dog and went to the grocery store where dogs are not allowed. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The case is dismissed, Mr. Davis. We're done. You may have overreacted. So is your counterclaim. Got it?
Thank you.
We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He came up in my face and was standing as close as he could to me and screaming at me that I kicked his dog.
All I wanted was justice and the money back for my teeth.
I have 2 dogs. I don't kick dogs.
Half my front tooth was chipped out from the flashlight that she hit me with.
If he says I knocked a tooth out, it's not much of a flashlight.
Just go home and...
Stay away from people like that, I guess.
never see this lady again.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Rogers versus Della Bella. Step forward.
22-year-old Katie Rogers is suing her former roommate, Pamela Della Bella, for rent and damages caused by Pamela's dog.
I don't quite understand what you all want. You moved into an apartment together. You signed a lease. You both moved out before the lease. What?
For the rent.
Reimbursement for what rent? From when to when?
April to May, when I had to move out of the apartment.
Just a second. April and May. And you moved out of the apartment?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you paid rent for those?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your half?
Yes, Your Honor.
To the end of the lease?
Yes.
Now you're going to tell me first why you paid your half of the rent, then you're going to tell me why you think you should get it back having paid it.
I paid my half of the rent because my name was still on the lease.
Right.
And I owed the landlords that money.
Correct.
So I paid it.
Correct.
I believe that I deserve that money back because the living environment was uninhabitable. I couldn't live there.
Okay, and the living environment was uninhabitable because?
Because there was dog and pee everywhere, every day.
Because while you were living together, you say the defendant got a dog without consulting you.
She got a dog without consulting the landlords.
Not the landlord. I'm talking about got a dog without consulting her roommate. Is that what you want me to believe?
No, that is not my assertion.
Okay, good. So she got a dog and had consulted with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And now you say the puppy, because it was a puppy.
Yes, Your Honor.
And it made all over the house.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what puppies do.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's what puppies do. They make all over the house. Big puppies, big little puppies, get little.
Judge Judy continues.
Wasn't a surprise visit to go to the puppy?
No, Your Honor.
It was planned.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you know where I'm going, Miss Rogers. So far, you're not doing well.
Your Honor.
Do you understand?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Katie Rogers says former roommate Pamela Della Bella owes for rent and damaged belongings. Pamela is countersuing for actual and punitive damages for breaking a lease.
So you owed the landlord money, you paid the landlord your money, your roommate asked you if she could get a dog, you said yes, and then there was puppy pee, puppy all over the apartment, so you had to leave.
Yes.
Well, you could have cleaned it up.
Your Honor, I did. I
But then
had
it
never
wouldn't have been
seen.
there.
Can I show you the video of this apartment?
You can show me the video, but I don't understand. She asked you if she could get a dog.
Yes,
you
sir.
said fine with me. She said it was different. You both looked at pictures, and is that what I am led to believe by your answer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
From whom was the dog purchased?
A woman named Irma in Indiana.
Did you both live in Indiana?
No, we did not.
So the puppy had to be flown to where you live?
No, Your Honor, we drove to pick her up together with a friend.
When you say we drove, did the two of you drive to pick her up?
A friend drove us.
Both of you?
Yes.
Indiana to pick up the puppy?
Yes, she did.
The answer is yes. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So far, you're not doing well.
Your Honor.
Do you understand?
Yes, I was willing to have a dog in the apartment. I love dogs. I have 4 dogs at home that I grew up with. But, Your Honor, most people do not leave their dogs alone for 16 hours at a time. This dog was abused. It was sad. It was not living a proper life for a husky puppy, and I told her that, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's not true.
Shh, shh, shh. When Pamela, that would be you.
Yes, ma'am.
Moved in, she brought a puppy and a cat into the apartment. That's what you wrote.
Yes, Your Honor. She had a cat as well.
Did she get the puppy before or after you moved in together?
Before.
So before you became roommates?
We lived at a different apartment together.
Better. So you lived at a different apartment together. You went with her to get the puppy and then moved into another apartment and signed a lease with her.
We had already signed the lease before she had gotten the puppy.
So you knew she had the puppy?
No, Your Honor. I did not know. We signed the lease on February 4th, and she got the puppy at the end of February.
You went with her?
Yes, Your Honor.
That wasn't a surprise visit to go to the puppy?
No, Your Honor.
It was planned?
It was planned, yes.
Yes. Your claim is ridiculous. What is your counterclaim?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, what is your counterclaim?
My counterclaim is I want to be reimbursed for work that I missed due to Katie abandoning the dog the day after we brought her home.
That's not happening.
Okay.
Grow up. What's next?
Also for moving expenses because I made arrangements for the dog to live with my aunt and uncle, and I also had a letter from my doctor stating I was allowed to have the dog. Katie still left the apartment, and she said that I would leave the dog alone for up to 16 hours. I have text messages showing.
Where's the dog now?
The dog is still with me at home.
Great. At whose home?
My friend Amanda is taking care of her right now.
Just a second. Do you live with your friend Amanda?
No, I live on my own now.
With the dog?
Yes.
Is the dog now housebroken?
She's completely housebroken.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Wasn't then, didn't work out. You're out of that apartment now?
Yes.
Good for you both. You're in someplace else now?
Yes.
You don't get your rent back. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
We both adopted a dog together. It was a 50-50.
In an uninhabitable apartment.
I came home on my breaks to take care of her. I never left her alone for 16 hours.
And she did not keep the place clean. She didn't take care of her dog.
I have messages showing that I didn't need to come home on my break that day because she would be taking care of her.
And I didn't agree with that.
I provide a loving home for that dog. You can ask anyone. The dog is happy and housebroken completely.
I find that it's probably better to live on your own.
You should stick to living on your own like I did before.
You allege that they made slanderous remarks.
Neighbors are blamed for starting trouble.
The defendant said we threw hypodermic needles and trash in her yard.
Now they're stopped from doing good.
You had been foster parents for how long?
Over 25 years.
Did either of you file a complaint to social services?
I did not, no.
No, Your Honor.
There's so much more to the story. They've just been harassing and calling the police.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Gregory and Valerie Burks are suing their neighbors, Lisa Bobo and her sister Patricia, for half the cost of a fence and damages for slander.
It's case number 85 on the calendar in the matter of Burks versus Bobo.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Mr. and Mrs. Burks, your complaint has two parts to it. You and the defendants are neighbors, and you've been neighbors for quite some time.
Yes.
And you want them to pay for 1/2 of the cost of a fence.
Yes.
Yes.
That separates your property.
Yes.
And the defendants say your fence, your property, you pay for it.
Correct, Your Honor.
The other part of your claim is for slander, and that part of your claim suggests that the defendants, through vicious rumor and innuendo, caused you to lose your license as foster parents.
Yes, perhaps.
Did that happen?
Yes, it's still under investigation.
So you didn't lose your license?
I no longer have my license now.
Temporarily or permanently?
Well, until the investigation is finished, they have to...
They suspended your
Yes.
license. Okay. All right, let's deal with the property. How long have you lived in your home?
26 years.
And you've lived there since 2010?
2010, yes, Your Honor.
When you bought the house 28 years ago, the house had this fence on it. Is that correct?
The chain link fence was there from when we moved in, and a row of trees. We had the trees cut down, and it was an old rusty chimney before they moved in, and we had the fence put up ourselves, the one that's there now.
In what year did you put up the fence that's there now?
Maybe 15 years ago.
What kind of fence was that?
It's a wooden fence now.
And is that the fence that you want to replace?
Yes, ma'am.
Now the wood fence needs replacing.
Yes, ma'am.
And now you want them to pay for half of it.
At first, we were going to put up the fence on our own. We need access to their property to have the fence put up. But we had such a big stink about it, they made a big stink about it, that we had a fence paid for that we wanted to put up, but they wouldn't give us access to the yard, so it's just sitting there.
What do you mean, the fence is just sitting there? It's
No,
not
the
up?
fence is not sitting there. The people who are supposed to put it up had purchased the materials, but they couldn't put it up because they wouldn't allow access to their yard.
Okay. I assume that the property has been surveyed, is that right?
Yes, by the city.
And on whose property is the fence?
It's down the middle.
Well, that can't be, because you've had a row of trees.
Well, the
and
row
a
of trees is
chain link
actually on
fence
our side.
Was on your side?
Yes, ma'am.
And the chain link fence?
Was down the middle. So we had the wooden fence put up in the same area as the chain link fence.
Is the wooden fence that's there now separating your two properties?
Yes, Your Honor, it is.
So it's right on the property line?
I don't know if it's on the property line. I mean, when they had their fence being installed, one of her fence installers about 4 or 5 inches over. I was unaware of this. I was in bed. I worked graveyard. My sister happened to come home from lunch. She told him to stop. Wait a minute, what are you doing? Initially, he told her he marked the property line.
Do you have a photograph of what you're talking about?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I'd like to see it.
It's an up close and then one at a distance. Now, I'm not a professional, but based upon that marking, I took a string and I took it all the way up. And it appears to me...
No, just
okay.
a second.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to see where they cut into your fence.
It's a small little cut there.
That's a nick.
They began cutting. My sister stopped them on the way. She came home from lunch and stopped them.
And this is your property
That's
here.
my property, that whole black side.
So the wood fence, based upon these pictures, I want you to look at it. You see this nick? That is where the defendant says that your fence people were cutting into in order to build the fence. They say that your fence people made this nick. Is that what you're telling me?
That is correct, and we also have video of the conversation with
the fence people?
Yes, sir, ma'am.
I don't understand what they were cutting into the fence for.
They were installing cement pillars on their new fence, their upgraded fence, and evidently they wanted to cut a portion of my fence off so that they can install another cement-style pillar, but they had never asked for permission to cut.
House, your house?
Yes.
Take a look at where the cut is, where the defendant says that your fence people made that cut, which is on her property.
Yeah, I have pictures of the mark.
Okay. Now, who made that mark?
The brick workers made the mark.
Your brick workers?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what was the purpose of their cutting in?
It was a misunderstanding. They spoke Spanish. It was a misunderstanding, so I got in touch with the owner. I said, hey, the guys cut into the fence. He immediately said, we'll take care of it. And the sister Patricia, she had the video. She says, you guys got to pay for this fence. I said, the owner wife will be here to talk to you. She's on her way. She came. The wife told me she took care of the matter of the fence. They want to get it fixed, but they want a whole new gate, iron gate altogether. But he told him he could fix that mark right there. I don't know what they're talking about, the marking. The marking is on the curve, not on the fence.
Well, it's clearly in the fence.
No, we're not talking about that little mark. That's a whole new different situation.
I just don't know why they would cut into her fence. Because if he's cutting into her fence on her property, and that's her property line, then the wood fence that you want replaced looks as if it's on your property.
No, that's not the property line.
No, I'm talking about, this is the wood fence that you're talking about.
Right.
This is the wood fence that you're talking about.
there.
I understand what you're talking about. It's clearly on your property.
Well, these guys, they didn't speak English. This is why I was also...
All right. Look, I'm going to make it very, very simple. If you want to replace that fence, replace it. You have any interest in replacing that fence?
No, ma'am, I don't. I mean, it's a termite fence. It does need replacing, but I was trying to save up the funds, as I told them, for the fence replacement, and they were just pushing, and I need time. Initially, I was asking them to supply a land surveyor's assessment so that we can see whose property line it was on, because years prior, in 2013, when her handymen were painting that fence white, they oversprayed my brand new 2013 car, dealership tag still on it, oversprayed with white paint. Valerie and I did converse. You know, she did.
And she paid for it.
She paid for it. That was all settled. I did go for the lease estimate. The guy was just as qualified. But anyway, and that at that time is when she told me, well, that's my fence. And I told her, that's fine. I don't care. I just want my car fixed. And if I may say, in going back about the owners talking with us about the fence being repaired, no one's talked to me to this date about the cut that was made in the fence. I've never said that I wanted my entire fence replaced. My front yard fence does not need replacing.
Let me ask you this question.
Yes, ma'am.
They already have the materials to fix the fence. They say that they can't put it up because you refused them access to your property.
That is incorrect.
Okay, so you would allow already?
We have paid for it, yes, ma'am.
You've paid for the fence already?
Yes, ma'am.
So you just have the wood there?
Right.
Okay. They'll allow you to put the fence up on their property, and they've agreed to it, so we'll put that in an order.
Yes.
Let's get to the second part of this case. If you want the fence, put it up. I'm speaking. Second part of your case is that you allege that they made certain slanderous remarks about you, and that you had been foster parents for how long?
For over 25 years.
Until when?
Until 2018.
What month in 2018?
January.
Did either of you file a complaint regarding the plaintiffs to social services?
I did not, no.
No, Your Honor.
What are you alleging?
Department of Social Service can't tell us where the call came from.
They said that they did not.
But they have been harassing us. There's so much more to the story. They've just been harassing and calling the police, and I'm having the police come out, and I have several reports. I even had to go see a doctor behind this because I thought I was going crazy because they just kept harassing and harassing, and they said we were throwing...
Harassment is a conclusion. It appears that at least as recently as 2013, you were able to talk to each other. Your people who were spraying the fence damaged her car. You were able to fix it. You paid for it. So evidently, something happened after 2013. So I want you to tell me, in 2000, specifically, of the defendants did to you to slander you.
The defendant said we threw needles in our yard, hypodermic needles and medicine bottles and trash in her yard.
Okay, do you have photographs of that?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Yes.
Well, I see that there is pills, it looks like a syringe, and there is a bottle of medicine, and the name on it is neither of theirs, on the bottle of medicine. Do you have any proof that they threw this trash in your backyard?
I had original pictures that I had taken of the items that I had been finding. I had been finding them all along. I started taking pictures on July 1st of 2017 when I seen the prescription bottle with the name along with other items, and I gathered together and I took a picture. Normally, I would just throw the things. I do gardening on the side of the house every other week. I would see...
what is it that you allege about?
This is what my neighbor here, her constantly harassing us and saying that we're throwing needles. We have foster kids. Also, it ruined my friendship with some of my neighbors. I mean, my reputation, our reputation in the neighborhood. And it just goes on and on. Calling the police, she get in her yard. She's telling the neighborhood.
Just a second. She doesn't have any proof that you threw the stuff in her yard. So if you have a statement by the police that she accused you of throwing these needles...
I have a statement. It's a police incident report.
Does it say that she said that you... I'd like to see it.
I mean, it doesn't say it, but this is the report
Then I
number.
don't want to
This is what
see
they
it.
do.
Then I don't want to see it. Okay. How old are the foster children that you had?
10 and 11.
Who was this person? Do you know a person by the name?
Yes, that's my niece.
Your niece? Well, her name is on this prescription bottle.
Yes, that her sister dug out the trash. This is my neighbor seen her digging in the trash, yes.
Before I ask you to come up here, did you see either of the two defendants take a bottle of pills out of trash? The answer is yes or no.
No.
Good. Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
where they go to school Monday through Friday, whoever takes care of them has custody of the children. Did you have physical custody of your children?
Yes, I have joint legal custody of my
That's
children.
not
with
what
my
I asked you.
ex-husband.
Do you understand why I'm not believing you?
real cases, real people. Judge.
Neighbors Lisa Bobo and her sister Patricia owe for half the cost of a fence, as well as for slander and harassment.
So, when do you want to put up the fence? Give
Soon
me
as
a
possible.
2-week period.
Okay, 2-week period would be fine.
2 weeks from today. Within 2 weeks.
Yes.
You have to give them 72 hours notice of the time in writing that you're going to have somebody come on their property in order to finish the installation of the fence. Okay?
And
So
it'll
that
take
they have
about
notice.
maybe 2 or 3 days, depending.
3 days.
Okay.
Okay? All right, fine. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
It's caused because they're strange, they're weird, they're crazy. That's why I started. They're crazy, they're sick.
I really think that the comments that Mrs. Valerie Burks made, I think it pretty much speaks for her personality and the attitude.
How they act, how they're treating us, our kids.
You know, she feels the way she feels. Whatever her comments are basically her comments.
Jealousy over my home, over me, over my husband.
Like I said, I think the comments that she made pretty much sums up the person that she is.
For them to move, go back to where they came from, because they're strange, they don't belong in Compton.
I think it is very strange.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Tucker versus Lamoureux. Step forward.
Jennifer Tucker, for loans she made to him when he was going through a hard time.
Ms. Tucker, when were you and Mr. Lamoureux in a relationship?
Our relationship began in June of 2016.
And ended?
September 2017.
What money do you think he owes you?
He owes me money for, there was a time in his life where he was very, very broke. He wasn't working. He was waiting for retirement money from the state of Connecticut. He was waiting for approximately $29,000 to come in.
What was that time?
On June 16th, 2016.
June 16th, that's when you first started
Correct.
to have a relationship. Now, were you living together?
No.
Did you ever live together?
No.
Did you ever live in his house?
I stayed overnight at his house.
How often?
Several times a week.
How many is several?
I would go home maybe 2 nights a week.
So you stayed at his house the majority of the week?
Majority.
Right. From when to when did you stay at his house the majority of the week?
It was starting in September.
September of 2016. When did you stop staying at his house 5 nights a week?
Well, he left abruptly. He left to go to Hawaii for 3 months. He left me in charge of his house, his children, his pets.
So, you know, Miss Tucker, I'm not believing you. I just have to tell you, from the get-go, and you've been living in his house. That's clear. I read the papers. He left for several months. He went to take care of his grandchildren in Hawaii. You were at his house. Now, you have children, correct? And you do not have custody of your children.
I do have custody of my children.
Did you then?
Yes.
Did you have physical custody of your children at the time you were staying at his house 5 nights a week?
I was a nursing student, so
Did you, Miss Tucker,
yes,
aren't
I
you
did.
fine? You
yes,
didn't.
I did.
You did not. You did not have physical custody when you were staying at his house 5 nights a week. How do I know that? Because I'm going to ask him, and because you said it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
One of her children left a box of chocolates out, and your deceased wife's chihuahua ate the chocolate and died.
Correct.
That's what you want me to listen to?
Yes.
You know, I went to postgraduate school for 7 years.
Millions of people across the country are losing weight and improving their health. What do we all have in common? Nutrisystem.
Lose up to 13 pounds and 7 inches overall in your first month. It's your favorite foods made healthier.
No counting, no measuring, no weigh-ins.
Order your 28-day plan and save 40% off every program.
Join the millions who have lost weight and improved their health. Go online right now.
Order plus get probiotic shakes free.
Round table pizza?
King Arthur's Supreme and garlic parmesan twists.
Roundtable gets a lot of respect because we show our pizza a lot of respect. Made with only premium ingredients, topped right to the edge. Text PIZZA to 86677 for exclusive offers like free pizza and wings. Message and data rates may apply.
We're Daybreak, and we're here for you.
Welcome to Daybreak. I'm Kelly Som.
We'll help you stay safe and informed with accurate news and information.
A former FBI agent is joining the...
And we'll catch you up with the most recent developments.
Reward has been doubled to $10,000.
We're here to help you and your family start your day by getting you the facts you need to know.
Look at that storm track.
Our minute-by-minute forecasts will alert you to any weather dangers that may affect your day.
We do it for you.
Daybreak on KAEF ABC 23. Get the facts right.
Everyone deserves compassion and integrity as they age, and at Especially You Assisted Living, that's exactly what you'll receive. Especially You features a spacious and bright sun and sitting room and garden that makes relaxation and visits with friends and family one of the highlights of your day. Residents at Especially You can enjoy spacious and bright bedrooms in a safe neighborhood, as well as access to a large walk-in bathroom regularly, and that an LVN is on retainer. The friendly and attentive staff at Especially You will always make sure you or a loved one is safe and cared for.
Maddie! What's up, people? One day, it was take your kid to work day. My dad's a research analyst. You fill in the blanks. I had to build a diorama of the Jurassic period. I got cast as a fence in the school play. How are your allowance negotiations going? My parents are lowballing me. Thanks, Carla. Well, gotta run. I got scouted straight into Taekwondo. So slammed today. Later.
Milk, because being a kid is tough.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jennifer Tucker is suing her ex-boyfriend, Michael Lamoureux, for loans she made to him when he was going through a hard time.
There was a period of time that what you were doing, his house was a midway point between where your children were and where you were. You would visit with them, and they came According to what I read in the complaint and answer, you did bring your children to his house on occasion, but the children's physical custody, they did not go to school from where you were living.
That is correct.
All right. Well, that's custody. Where they go to school Monday through Friday, whoever takes care of them Monday through Friday has custody of the children. In 2016, in September of 2017, did you have physical custody of your children?
Yes, I have joint legal custody of my children.
That's not
with
what
my
I asked you.
ex-husband.
Do you understand why I'm not believing you? Do you understand what I'm not believing?
But they go to school in the town of Watertown, Connecticut, where my ex-husband lives.
They live with their father in Connecticut and go to school from their father's house in Connecticut. Does that exist today as well?
Yes.
Yes. So that you have joint legal custody, maybe, I don't know that, but your father has primary physical custody and you have visitation with them, I assume, on weekends.
And oftentimes during the week as well.
Maybe, if you get there. Okay, fine. As long as we understand where it's at. Now, in the time when you were staying at his house 5 nights a week, and then when he went away to Hawaii to take care of his grandchildren, is that the period of time that you say he owes you money for?
Yes, he does.
Okay. And when you were living at his house, how much rent did you pay?
I have my own mortgage, so we never...
That's not what I asked you.
I didn't
when you were
pay any
living
rent.
at his house...
I didn't pay any rent.
Well, do you understand where we're going, Ms. Tucker?
I do.
Very good. I'm glad you understand where we're going.
But I feel like I need to explain a little bit more.
You have 3 minutes, and I have a very busy day.
I
You
also have my own
case.
mortgage. I was paying all of the household bills for his and my own, going to
school. You weren't
school.
taking care of your own children.
Yes, I was.
Your children live with their father. He has 2 children. One was 17, one was 20, 2 boys. The
His
20-year-old
youngest was 15 at the time, and we were very close. And
Ms. Tucker, 3 minutes are running out very, very fast. Come on.
I paid every single household bill from June to January.
Good. Great. And you live there?
I did not live there.
Okay. We're done. You have a stupid counterclaim. I'm going to tell you what your stupid counterclaim is.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You have a stupid counterclaim. I'm going to tell you what your stupid counterclaim is. While she was there and her daughter was visiting, according to you, one of her children, who she had for a visit, left a box of chocolates out, and your deceased wife's chihuahua ate the chocolate and died. That's one. And then she was baking cookies another time and left cookies out, and the other chihuahua ate some more chocolate and had to go to the vet.
Correct.
That's what you want me to listen to?
Yes.
You know, I went to postgraduate school for 7 years. Goodbye.
In a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I feel used.
I think she just wants money.
He took whatever he could from me and left. Even the shoes that he's wearing today, I purchased for him.
And I bought these shoes.
And I wanted him to have accountability.
She didn't like the fact that I didn't express my feelings towards her.
He can go home knowing that he has 0 integrity.
I never said the ILU.
And 0 accountability for his actions.
I dodged a bullet today.
I hope that karma comes back and bites him.
And for the rest of my life.
I assume you got the dog as a puppy.
We got him for my birthday.
Not for her birthday.
An ex returns with demands.
The dog has been living with Mr. Sprudy. You want the dog back.
He would not let me in the house. He got in my face.
But will hounding the judge help?
Why would I want to uproot the dog?
I know that I can take care of the dog better.
The dog has lived with one constant person. That's him.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
24-year-old Heather Legler is suing her ex-boyfriend, Owen.
Order. All rise. It's case number 161 on the calendar in the matter of Legler versus Sprudy.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
All right, this is about a dog. Is that right?
Yes.
You and Mr. Sprudy
Yes, ma'am.
lived together from when to when?
We started dating in...
I asked you when you lived together.
Sorry. We started living together a couple months after we started dating in...
Month and year.
May. We started dating in June. We lived together.
May 2017.
Sorry, 14.
And you left in January.
January
of
12th,
2018. You had a cat.
Yes.
How old is your cat?
10.
So you had your cat well before Mr. Sprudy.
Yes.
You came into your relationship with the cat.
Yes.
While you were living together as a couple, a dog came as part of the family. What month and year?
We got him in February of 2017 for my birthday.
February 2017. When did you get the dog?
February 2017, not for her birthday.
She added that gratuitously. I ignored it, said it was for her birthday.
Yes, ma'am.
2017. You left the apartment and the relationship in January of 2018. So I assume you got the dog as a puppy.
Yes.
So the dog's lived with both of you for a year. You left in January.
I did.
We're now almost in August. So January, February, March, April, May, June, and July. For the last 7 months, the dog has been living with Mr. Sprudy.
Yes.
Now you're in an apartment that can handle the dog, take care of the dog. You want the dog back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why would I want to uproot the dog?
The dog was mine. I purchased.
Why would I want to uproot the dog?
Because I believe I started out with me taking care of the dog the most. I know that I can take care of the dog better. I was taking care of the dog in the very beginning for the first year. I bought everything. I have everything in my name. The payment, the vet bills, microchip. I have photos.
When you left the house in January,
yes,
did you take your cat?
I did not take my cat because I wanted to come back and grab both of them.
The answer is you left the house and didn't take your cat. When did you come back to take your cat?
When I finally got April.
Tell me.
Sorry.
Month and date when you came.
I got my apartment.
4/12.
2018.
Now, when you went back to the house on April 12th, some 3 months later.
Yes.
Did Mr. Sprudy give you your cat?
Yes, he did.
He did not give you your dog?
No, he would not let me in the house. He got in my face and...
He did not give you the dog?
No.
Listen, just because you get hysterical doesn't mean he has to succumb to that. You're hysterical with me. Is the dog with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Legler?
Yes.
The dog is at least 18 months old, 19 months old, almost 2. For all that time, the dog has lived with one constant person. That's him.
Yes.
Didn't live with you for the last 7 months.
I understand that.
When two people live together, from 2014 to 2018, that's like a couple. You had a lease together? Did you have a lease?
No.
Where did you live?
We lived at his aunt's for a while.
Okay, so from when did you live with the defendant's family? From when to when?
We lived with his aunt for about a year into our relationship.
When did you live with your aunt?
It was August of 2015 to May of 2016 when I purchased my house.
You purchased a house in your name?
Yes, ma'am.
How much was the house?
$185,000.
You have a mortgage?
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
$1,200. Just over that, but $1,200.
And Miss Legler, what kind of work were you doing?
Pretty work at a company.
Just a second. Were you gainfully employed? That means for money.
Yes, yes. I had a job in the Mall of America. I had 2 stores that I managed. And now...
In 2016?
Yes.
Okay, so what were you earning in 2016?
About 14.
14 what?
$14.
You have a car?
Yes.
Is it paid for?
Yes.
Did you have a loan on the car?
I did not.
What did you contribute to the household?
I paid the electricity, the heat. We had 2 different, we had a gas and heat, garbage every 3 months.
When you moved into the house, at any time have a joint bank account?
No.
Just for my own information, when the dog was it purchased on a credit card or by check?
It was by credit card and mine.
Just a second.
Sorry, Your Honor.
And you have that receipt?
I sure do.
I would like to look at it. Now, is it correct, Mr. Sprudy, that while you were living together and the bills were apportioned, you paid the mortgage, she evidently paid other bills, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That she paid the $494.06 to PayPal for Happy Tails, I assume?
Yes.
Did you go together for the dog?
We went together to see the dog originally. I went February 22nd to pick up the dog by myself while she was at work.
Is that correct, Miss Ledger?
Yes, I had to work.
Is it also correct that you went to look at the dog together?
Yes, it is correct.
Now, when you went to look at the dog together, someone must have paid for the dog, because otherwise you wouldn't have been able to pick the dog up, right? So when you went to look at the dog, was it paid for at that time?
I don't think it was paid for at that time, no.
Well, how could you pick up the dog if it wasn't paid for?
It was paid for after we went and saw, because he was our second choice.
Explain that to me.
We went to go see, his name was Fisher at the time, a different dog in that same litter. We got there, was told that he was already taken, spoken for. So she told us that we can have our choice on the next one, and we chose him, Finn.
You could have your choice on the next litter.
Yeah, no, the next dog in the litter. Whatever dog we wanted to in that litter.
And why didn't you take the dog home that day?
Because they were too young, and he was gonna go get his shots and get neutered and all that stuff before we could take him home.
Now, I'd like you to explain to me why she paid the, which is an odd price, $400.
Our cash flows were a lot different. I paid the mortgage. I have a mortgage statement here.
No, I got the fact that you paid the mortgage.
And she was only
and
paying...
the taxes.
Yep.
Not yep. That would be a yes.
Yes, ma'am.
And the taxes are how much on the house?
I'm not 100% sure on that.
Because you pay for it within the mortgage? They take,
right. Yes. Escrow. Yes.
Repairs on the house?
Me.
Food?
Me.
Split.
Sometimes.
You see what I mean? You lived together as a couple for 4 years. You paid for the dog.
Yes.
He paid for other things.
Yes.
Right now, the dog has been with him, which is my primary concern, because the fact that you lived in the house doesn't mean that you own a piece of the house. But the dog has been with him now for its whole life, including, most recently, the last 17 months. And it would have to be very, very compelling to me in a situation where a couple live together as a married couple for me to say, okay, now you found a place to live that's more accommodating, so you can go to the house and take a dog that you raised together in the same house. I don't feel that kind of compelling story here. I don't. You have your cat. Cat's okay?
Yes, she's healthy.
Good, fine. You wanted a dog? I think you should go and buy one.
I paid for the dog. I wanted it for my birthday. I got it for my birthday. We decided. I wanted the adoption forms. I paid them. I did it all myself. He had no, please. I paid for it. I have pictures. I have vet statements. I did everything. Please.
He's been with me his whole life.
He fell in love with me first.
Honestly, I think it's trying to pull on my heartstrings.
I care for animals way more than he does.
I did everything for her.
He asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and that was it.
She wanted this, so...
I really want my dog back.
Dog is where he belongs.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Faskowitz versus Barukai. Step forward.
Jack Faskowitz is suing his neighbor, Ben Barukai, for trespassing on his property and for mutilating his bougainvillea.
Mr. Faskowitz, how long have you owned or lived in your home?
About 21 years.
And how long have you been his neighbor?
18 years.
Have you always not gotten along?
Well, it started out when they moved in.
Well, that's 18 years ago.
18 years ago.
Okay, well, you couldn't have started before they moved in.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are these the plants that you're talking about, sir?
Yes.
Pay attention to me. Were any of these hanging over on his property?
No, that's a sidewalk.
I know. This is a sidewalk. I'm asking his property.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jack Faskowitz says workers employed by neighbor Ben Barukai trespassed on his property and mutilated his bougainvillea.
It is your claim, Mr. Faskowitz, that the defendant has done a couple of things. He cut a plant of yours, a bougainvillea.
Mutilated plants and trees.
Okay, and then he cut down tree limbs that belong to your trees. The defendant doesn't deny that he had the trees trimmed, but that he said that they were hanging over his property, so that is his right.
No.
That wasn't a question to you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And that's too bad if his gardeners cut your plants. So I'd like you to tell me, within the last year, because I'm not going back 18 years, within the last year, what plants has he cut that belong to you?
Mainly bougainvilleas.
Okay, do you have photographs?
Yes.
I'd like to see them.
We've got some more, but those kind of are more drastic.
I'm not following, sir. Is what you're talking about him cutting these?
All the...
Is that what his gardeners cut?
That's not his gardener. His construction people that were there just mutilated the plants.
What were construction people doing on the property, sir?
They're building his property.
I didn't ask you a question.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking to me.
Your Honor, I have a gardener who do the job every other week, cut the grass.
What were construction people doing on the property?
He's my maintenance guy. He's my worker for the past many years.
Is he maintenance, gardener, or construction?
Yes, he's maintenance and do gardening too.
Okay. Did you instruct him to cut these plants?
I did not instruct him to cut any of his plant. I did not cut any of his plant, neither intentionally or unintentionally.
Are these the plants that you're talking about, sir?
Yes, and many more inside. You keep going to pictures, yeah.
Pay attention to me.
Sure.
Were any of these hanging over on his property?
No, that's a sidewalk.
I know. This is the sidewalk.
None.
I'm asking you whether if these were the same plants, and these clearly are hanging over into the sidewalk on public property, I'm asking you if any of them were hanging over on his property.
No.
The root of this plant is on your property, correct?
Yes. It's all photographed on my side.
What you're telling me that he or his maintenance people cut these?
His people.
So they were on your, they had to have been.
In my property.
So they had to have been, in order to cut them like this, on your property?
Yes.
Now, when they were on your property, did you have a discussion with them?
Yes. I went out, they say they know English. So a few words of Spanish that I knew. I asked him, what are you doing here? Nada, nada, and they took off. There were about 5 or 6 of them with a pickup truck.
No. It's not true.
This is your house, correct?
Yes.
And this is the defendant's house?
I can't see it from here.
Circle your house.
This is my house right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is his house over here, so all mine is right here. And this tree is completely chopped to the top.
Okay. Now I want you to write down here which is your side of the fence.
Okay.
This side
And this is the defendant's house.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Now I would like him to mark, please, on that where his property is and where the defendant's property is.
This right here is my property. That's his property right here. That's everything here is my property. All this is chopped. Yeah, that's all is mine. This is his, this right here when I died. So he has a gardener for that.
George, this is his property.
His property.
Right, and this is...
Well, yeah. I absolutely get why he cut your plants, to make his side not look like your side, why his gardeners did, because they were encroaching on his property.
They were not.
I don't have a picture of before and after, do you?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at it to see whether this is exactly the same, whether they were or were not encroaching on his property.
Your Honor, we never went to his property. Yes.
No,
I caught him inside.
I didn't say on your property. I said encroaching on your property.
Right.
He doesn't have to look at your bougainvillea. He can cut them if they're on his property, which looks exactly like what he did.
This is mine right here.
Or his gardeners did.
Your Honor, we never...
Can I see before and after? Your plants were on his property.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He's allowed to cut this tree all the way down to here.
But
that's on your property, but it's hanging over his property.
Okay.
He can cut it.
But it hangs down. But not going into my property, cut the roots.
Shame, shame. Don't go into his property again.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jack Faskowitz says workers employed by neighbor Ben Barukai trespassed on his property and mutilated his bougainvillea.
Is this his house?
Yes.
Your plants are on his property.
Well, if they were, all he had to do is just cut what it's there, but not go to the root in my yard.
Your plants were on his property. What else are you complaining about?
Then he built a, he said he didn't have any workers there. He built a hole inside took the ceiling off with cottage cheese,
I don't
his
care.
house.
Listen to me.
No, like, I'm just going to, I want to point out the one
you to tell
thing.
me what else you're complaining about. You're complaining about the trees.
All the trees that it cut all the way along the line.
Just a second.
It's not only here.
He's allowed to cut this tree all the way down to here.
Right. But
that's on your property, but it's hanging over his property.
Okay.
He can cut it.
Well, he can cut it when it hangs down, but not going into my property, cut the roots.
Shame, shame. Don't go into his property again. He's allowed to cut your property.
So when I approached
never went to his
you cut my
property.
trees, they said, ha, 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 I'll give you $5.
We never
My wife was
I'm not talking to you.
Sorry.
And I would be quiet if I were you because it doesn't look like you're losing. Right?
Sure.
They did there, mutilated the trees, and the police said it's a civil matter.
Don't tell me what the police said, sir. It's hearsay. What I'm telling you is
No,
your
I have a
neighbor,
police report.
your neighbor, which I will look at.
Right.
I would love to look at it.
Sure.
Your neighbor has the right to have a neat yard, a neat house, and you may love your bougainvillea, but he doesn't, and he doesn't have to look at your dead palm tree either hanging over his house. He's allowed to cut anything over his property line out. He should not go on, listen to me carefully, he should not go on to your property, nor should his workers go on to your property without your permission. So make sure that that doesn't happen again.
We've never...
You don't know never. Do you work?
Yes.
Do you work?
Yes.
Do you work in the house or outside of the house?
Both.
So sometimes you're outside of the house.
Yes.
And sometimes your maintenance people are working on the house when you're outside of the house. Yes. So you don't know what they're doing all the time. I'm telling you, make sure that they do not go on his property.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com on Twitter.
Okay, so now I have the police report, and the police report says your first name is Jack.
Right.
Jack believes that his neighbor had the plants cut because he has had issues with a neighbor in the past. The last time Jack saw his plants was February 8th, and February 9th, you saw that they had been cut.
Right.
So you ascribe that to the neighbor. So don't tell me that you saw his people do it.
I did.
Okay. I just told him, don't go on his property again.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand?
Yes.
We're done here. That's it. Goodbye.
Are you excused? You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
This guy is for 18 years doing the same thing.
He's been harassing me and my workers.
No. I caught him in there.
I wish it was better. I don't know.
I caught him red-handed.
He's been harassing me. I just let it go.
Nah. There's no good neighbors with him. This guy is for 18 years doing the same thing.
You were delivering some medicine to the defendant's home.
A pharmacy's house call goes bad.
Before I put the medication at the door, the little kid, 4 years old, opened the door and the dog came out and bit my hand.
What did he say to you?
He didn't even say sorry to me.
And reality
nipped him.
We're taking the position our dog didn't touch him.
I don't care what your position is.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. 20-year-old Yusef DeBall is suing Michael James for medical bills and punitive damages from a dog attack.
Order. All rise. Yeah, that's case number 120 on the calendar, the matter of DeBall versus James.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. DeBall, you were delivering some medicine to the defendant's home.
Yes.
You were working independently. You were making deliveries for a pharmacy that you don't work for weekly.
He's my friend. He's the owner of the pharmacy.
That's not what I said to you. I want you to listen carefully.
Okay.
I said you don't work for the pharmacy on a weekly basis.
No, I don't.
You were making a delivery to the defendant's house.
Yes.
For whom was the medication?
It was for me.
Have you used this pharmacy before?
Never.
First time?
I didn't use them. My dermatologist uses them, and I wanted him to use my pharmacy.
I don't care.
Okay.
It's of no import to me whatsoever.
But I've never used them, no.
Pharmacy, ordered a prescription.
Yep.
Okay. When had you been to the dermatologist?
Just a few days before this occurred.
And do you know on what day the dermatologist called the pharmacy?
No, I do not.
How were you notified that the dermatologist called the pharmacy?
The pharmacy delivery man called me.
Just a second. The pharmacy called you.
Called me and said, we will make your delivery.
We're going to go back. On what day were you bitten by the defendant's dog?
September 26th.
On what date did you go to the dermatologist? Well, I'm going to wait here as long as it takes.
I don't have that date. I didn't know I needed it, but it was a few days before the 26th, probably around the 22nd or 3rd.
And you went to the dermatologist for what reason, Mr. James?
For a rash.
Now, I've been to the dermatologist numerous times in my life. If I go in for a rash, the dermatologist gives me either a prescription or a sample. I assume you went to the dermatologist and the dermatologist gave you something.
Nope.
So you don't have a very good dermatologist, because if you went there for a rash and it took 2 or 3 days for him to call in a prescription, I would change my dermatologist. You understand where I'm going, Mr. James?
I understand.
Okay, you don't look like an unintelligent man. If you go to a dermatologist for a rash and the dermatologist gives you nothing but says, listen, I think it'll just go away, stop eating peanuts. Or they assume that you had to call your dermatologist and say the rash is getting worse. Come on, Mr. James, you know where I'm going.
I know.
Okay, so you know where I'm going. Let's get there faster than slower. You went there on the 22nd, 23rd. You went for a rash.
Yeah.
You went for a rash. The doctor didn't give you anything.
Nope.
And then what happened?
Then the delivery man...
No. Something happened before the delivery man, because you're not a fool. If I went to a dermatologist and I didn't get a prescription the next day, I would call the dermatologist and say, listen, I didn't get the prescription, or are you calling in a prescription for me? Do you want me to come back and get a prescription? The rash is getting worse. Something had to happen between the 22nd and the 23rd and the 26th, not just a call from a pharmacy.
I offered to pick it up. And he said, no,
James,
they'll call you for delivery.
Mr. James.
Sounded strange to me.
So just a second.
Okay.
Did your dermatologist say, I'm calling in a prescription to XYZ pharmacy, and they will call you when it's ready?
Correct.
On what date did you get a call from XYZ pharmacy that the prescription was ready?
Probably on the 25th.
That was a couple of days after you had been to the dermatologist.
Yes.
Did they already have your address?
Yes.
You were given the prescription?
Yes.
At what time on the 26th? And I'd like you to tell me what happened when you were delivering the prescription. Stop shaking your leg.
Okay, at first we was planning to go to the gym together.
Listen to me. I don't care what you were planning. I want you to tell me what happened.
What happened when I get there?
You got the prescription.
Yes.
You drove there or walked?
Drove there.
And?
Okay.
Parked the car.
Yes. And he told me, he told me already, he's gonna leave the check, he taped it on the door, and leave the medication.
He's going to leave a check taped on the door?
Yes.
Now, I want you to describe the door to me. Is there a porch? Do you just walk up to the door? Is it a private house?
It's like a screen, and you open the screen door and go to the door.
So it's a private house?
Yes.
Do you have to walk up a porch?
I'm just a little to get the check and leave the medication there.
You didn't answer my question. Is there a porch?
It's not. It's just like a screen door.
Are there steps?
No, there's no steps.
You just walk straight into the house. So you have to open the screen.
And go to the door.
Did you open the screen?
Yes.
Was there an envelope attached to the door?
It was.
Did you take the envelope?
I took the envelope.
Then what happened?
And then before I put the medication at the door, the little kid, 4 years old, opened the door and the dog came out and bit my hand.
Who is a 4-year-old that lives in your house?
It's our grandson we're raising.
And what kind of a dog do you have?
Great Pyrenees.
So a small child opened the door. Had you rang a doorbell?
I didn't ring the bell.
In the check?
I took the check and I was about to put the medication.
After you were bitten and you left the house, did you leave the house with the check?
Yes.
Did you leave the house with the medication?
It was in my hand, but he took it after.
He took it?
Yes.
So after the small child opened the door and the dog came out, Mr. James came out?
He came out after.
What did he say to you?
At first, he was a little bit rude to me. And he didn't even say sorry to me. And I was like,
Don't tell me a little bit rude. I'm not interested in a little bit rude. I asked you what he said to you.
Oh, he was like, are you okay? And all this stuff. That's it.
Are you okay? Is that what he said?
Yes.
And what did you say?
I said, yeah, I'm okay.
And what did he say?
Nothing. We just called 911 to get there.
Who called 911?
Ash called.
He wasn't there with you.
I called him. I didn't know what to do. So I called him to tell him what to do. So he came.
Was this the first time you had made deliveries for your friend?
Yes.
So you called 911?
Yes.
Great. Sit. And where did you go from there?
I went to the hospital.
You went to what hospital?
Countryside Hospital.
Were photographs taken of your injury?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at them. Was on your hand?
Yes, my left hand.
And how many wounds were there, 1 or 2?
There's like one in my finger and one right here.
And they washed it out?
Yeah.
At the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. And they gave you a Band-Aid?
Yeah.
And then you contacted a lawyer?
Yes.
On what date did you contact the lawyer?
After like a week after.
Why?
Because I was waiting for him like to pay the bills for the hospital, but he didn't.
Oh, did you ask him to pay the hospital bill?
We did at first. Like after I hired the lawyer, I did.
After you hired the lawyer, why
Yes.
didn't you call him before you hired the lawyer and say, listen, I went to the hospital just to make sure that it was okay, and they put a Band-Aid on it, but I have this hospital bill now that I have to pay. Before you went to a lawyer.
Because the lawyer would get like fast and like.
No, the lawyer wouldn't deal with fast. The lawyer would get you more money. And the lawyer said, forget it.
No, he contact him.
He contacted him and asked him if he had insurance. He said he had no insurance. The lawyer said, forget it, because you had no real injuries. So did you go to another lawyer?
No, I was with the same lawyer.
But the one lawyer told you to forget it.
No, he didn't tell me to forget it.
Well, then why are you here in small claims court?
Because he tried to contact him and told him like to pay for the bills, but he said like I'm not gonna pay for the bills, so that's why I like.
No, but did you fire the lawyer? I just want to know why you're
No,
here.
I still have the lawyer.
Well, then what are you doing here?
Because he said like he's not gonna pay for the bills, and I opened a small claim and I give it to the court.
I want to know, do you think the medical bills, are you going to continue with the lawyer to sue him?
No.
So you don't need the lawyer?
No.
Okay. Can I see your medical bill?
Yeah.
How many different doctors did you go to?
There's one bill for the doctor and the other one's for the hospital.
Outrageous. I mean, it's actually outrageous. No wonder the country is in such catastrophic state with regard to medical gouging. Did you pay any part of the bill?
Not yet.
So you understand the checks go right to these people. You understand that?
Yeah.
Just want to make that
Yeah,
crystal clear to you. Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You said to him, are you okay? Now, when I have people come to my house to deliver, because my husband loves to order things from Amazon Prime, and I say, thank you very much, I'll take the package, I never ask them how they are.
And later today.
No, that I don't believe, Ms. Jackson.
My car is still at the hotel. That's
Why
why
would you leave cash in your car?
Because I'm going back to my car. I didn't want to be overpacked. I said, I just need this folder right here. This was it.
Real people, Judge Judy. Pharmacy clerk Yusef Dubal says he was delivering medicine when a dog owned by Michael James bit him.
How many different doctors did you go to?
There's one bill for the doctor and the other one's for the hospital.
Outrageous. No wonder the country is in such catastrophic state with regard to medical gouging. Now, did you pay any part of the bill?
Not yet.
So you understand the checks go right to these people. You understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Your dog nipped him.
Am I allowed to say anything?
Sure. You can say whatever you want. Your dog nipped him. He's not going to get rich on your dog nipping him.
No, it was outrageous what he did. We're taking the position our dog didn't touch him.
I don't care what your position
No,
is.
I mean, I'm just saying, our dog didn't nip him.
You weren't there.
She was there.
No.
Not me. Not me.
No.
I was in the
Just a
back of the
second.
house.
Just a second. She wasn't there. The 4-year-old was there. The 4-year-old opened the door.
No.
4-year-old's not here. 4-year-old I can question. You have a Great Pyrenees?
Yes.
Yes. The Great Pyrenees nipped him. And that's frightening. And frightening enough for you to have said to him, sir, and I don't care what your position is, are you okay? Do you understand? Do you understand? You didn't come to the door and say, give me my medication, thank you very much. You said to him, are you okay? Now, when I have at least 10 times a day, because my husband loves to order things from Amazon Prime, so 100 times a week, I have delivery men coming to my door, and I say, thank you very much, I'll take the package. I never ask them how they are. Not that I don't care how they are. I care how they are. But when somebody makes a delivery, you don't say, are you okay? Do you understand, Mr. James?
Didn't
Judgment for
happen
the
like that.
plaintiff in the amount of $1,800. Checks go to the medical facilities. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
When I got out there, my driveway was filled with fire trucks.
He just like, he likes to lie.
Dog control, paramedics, and later a policeman.
Why I'm gonna try to hurt myself? There's no reason for it.
So somebody made these calls very quickly.
Because my hand was bleeding, and when they asked him is the dog has his shots?
Because you can't get all these 4 people in your driveway.
He said I'm not sure, so we're not sure if the dog has shots.
Within 20 minutes.
So I have to go to the house to get a shot and clean it up.
I'm implying this is all set up. This is a setup.
I do afraid of dog. I get afraid of dog a lot.
Oh, I want to put it to bed.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Phillips versus Jackson. Step forward.
LaVonda Phillips is suing her cousin, Rose Jackson, for the value of a car she claims Rose stole from her.
Ms. Phillips, the defendant is your cousin?
Yes.
And it is your claim she has your car?
Yes.
Ms. Jackson says she purchased the car from you, and that if, in this case, you get the car back, she wants the money that she spent in repairing the car. Do I have it right?
Yes.
Great. So this car, according to your complaint, was a 2000 Mercedes-Benz that was inoperable, correct?
Yes.
When had you purchased it?
Back in 2015, I believe.
Well, let's take it very slowly so that you don't give me any misinformation. You purchased this Mercedes in 2015. From whom?
My brother.
And what's his name?
Robert.
And when did he purchase the car?
He purchased the car from an auction.
He bought it at auction?
Yes.
When?
I don't even remember, ma'am.
When you bought it in 2015 from your brother, how much did you pay him for it?
I just paid for the repairs.
How much?
$700.
So you paid $700 for repairs. What was wrong with it?
It needed motor mounts.
So your brother gave you the car?
Basically, yes, ma'am.
When did it stop running?
March of 2016.
So now we have a car that was given to you as a gift, that in order for you to drive, you had to put in $700. But shortly after you repaired it, it stopped running. And then it sat, correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Where's the $200?
It's in my car at the hotel. But I can go get it.
Well, but I don't want to wait for you. I wait for you to go back to the hotel. I'll never get to the gym. I won't get my nails done. Look at my nails.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. LaVonda Phillips says her cousin, Rose Jackson, forged her name and stole her car.
So now we have a car that was given to you as a gift, that in order for you to drive, you had to put in $700. But shortly after you repaired it, it stopped running. And then it sat there, not running. So far, am I getting my story correct?
Yes.
Perfect. Then your cousin and you got into a discussion, and according to you, she wanted to buy it. You said, well, take the car, see what it'll be to fix it, and then I'll negotiate a price with you, right? And instead of doing that, your cousin took the car and had it fixed, and now it's running, right?
Yes.
And you're using it.
My daughter.
Your daughter's using it.
Yes.
And you spent a lot of money. Where is the title to the car?
Well, we had to get a new title. I have the title.
In your name or your daughter's name?
Well, actually, we switched it to both our names.
$4 because you say that the deal was once she got the car running, you would negotiate a price with her on how much you would charge her for the car that you had gotten from your brother for nothing that wasn't running well, right? Now you want $3,500 for it.
Yes.
And Miss Jackson says, well, I have the car. And she said, take the car. It's not running, hasn't been running for 2 years. Get it fixed, and I'll sell it to you for how much, Miss Jackson?
She sold it to me for $500.
$500?
Yes.
Well, sounds reasonable. Did you pay her the $500?
I paid her $300 of it.
You did, in cash?
In cash.
And tell me when.
That will be in July the 7th. I gave her $200 initially. And then on July the 12th, I gave her another $100. And later on, I tried to give her the rest of her money, and she wouldn't take it.
Okay. Did Miss Jackson make 2 payments to you in July of last year?
No.
How much did she give you?
She gave me $100 in April, and then in July, she gave me another $100.
That's $200?
Yeah.
So you say instead of her giving you $300 in total, she only gave you $200?
She gave me $300 in total, but it wasn't $200.
In total?
Yes.
So according to you, Miss Jackson, you owe her another $200 for the purchase of the car?
Yes, I do.
Right.
Your Honor, I didn't mind giving it to...
Take it out. Where is it? Where's the $200?
Actually, it's in my purse. Excuse me, ma'am. It's in my purse.
You have it in cash?
Yes, I do.
Go get it.
It's in my car at the hotel.
No, that I don't believe, Miss Jackson.
My car is still at the hotel. That's
why
where
would you
I
leave
kept from.
cash in your car?
Because I'm going back to my car. And seriously, in my purse, I didn't want to be overpacked. I said, I just need this folder right here. This was it.
Okay. Miss Phillips.
But I can go get it.
Well, but I don't want to wait for you because I have things to do this afternoon. I have to get to the gym. I have things to do. I have to get my nails done. I wait for you to go back to the hotel. I'll never get to the gym. I won't get my nails done. Look at my nails.
Yes, I understand. See?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You owe her another $200 for the purchase of the car.
Yes, I do.
Where's the $200?
It's in my purse.
You have it in cash?
Yes, I do.
Go get it. Well, but I don't want to wait for you. I wait for you to go back to the hotel. I'll never get to the gym. I won't get my nails done. Look at my nails.
Yes, I understand. See?
No, you have no case. She's going to give you $200, and then you're finished. You got a car for nothing. You had to have it repaired. It was dead for 2 years. She had it fixed. Now you have it. Now you have it. She has it running. That she paid for to have it running. Now you want $3,500 for it?
No, that is not it. I came here for forgery. That before she paid me my money, she took my car out my name.
Oh, well,
that's what I'm very
That's what you're here for?
Yes.
That she forged your name?
Yes.
Well, go to the police. We're done.
Okay.
I'm finished with you.
Thank you,
Judge Judy. I love you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I ain't ever tried to keep her money, and I won't ever do that. That's just not the type of person I am.
I don't have a comment.
It don't sit well with me that she's accusing me of that because I'm not that kind of person.
I don't have a comment.
The title from DMV, when you buy a car, you switch names.
She stole the title.
I don't know. She probably missed me. I don't know.
Out the glove box.
I'm going to always love my cousin. That's one thing for sure.
I just do not. No.